Mute that. No feedback. Well, okay. Let's get this underway. Opening music, maestro, please. Last we left off, the Wayward Wanderers found themselves adrift, overwhelmed, and without a clear plan of what to do. Thanks to what will hopefully prove to be an enduring friend, Carnell and Brightburn, they had an opportunity for a brief reprieve. An hour or two at his concert, and being the world famous bard he was, the queue around the block made this seem as promising as ever. After taking the time to maneuver slightly with the high society figures they found themselves amongst in the VIP seats, Connellan spoke with Lord Hennard and secured a private security detail to stay outside of their room at the Ladies' Garden. This was under the guise of keeping away jealous fans who might use any means to harm them, but also provided as an added level of security to quell the paranoia caused by their hostilities with the Zenith Institute. Carnellan's performance was truly a sight to behold. With magic having its place being the perfect stage aid, Carnellan was able to put on a show to his fullest potential. This included things like summoning a fiery demonic version of himself, filling the room with a hard breeze or a gentle scent, and even setting the entire stage and himself ablaze with his final bright and burning radiant light. Following the concert's end, Carnellan pointed out into the crowd at a beautiful young elven girl who rushed the stage and jumped into his arms. Carnellan then thanked the audience and teleported away. An act that left many in the audience, and some closer to you than you might realize, a tad jealous. The group also received a disconcerting message from the Nadziratelli. A message that a drow wizard had been caught prowling the Asamor woods in search of something, and that Iapetus had killed him and sustained injuries. An interesting message to ponder. One so interesting that it has left the Wayward Wanderers questioning its validity. But how true or not it may be will only be revealed with time. At this present moment, however, the group must find a solution to their own drow problem, the ever-present question, what to do with Dranth. Wayward Wanderers, I must remind you, every action has a consequence. With emotions running high and patiences wearing thin, will you continue to deliberate on the best course of action? Or will you take the more convenient route and put an end to this story once and for all? A man and a woman's fate lies within your hands. Will you do right by the parties involved, or will you just do what feels right in the moment without the thought of what might be regretted later? There is never a right or wrong answer in this world, but whatever action you must take, ensure that you do it with conviction. Wayward Wanderers, here in the presumed safety of the Grey Zone, and having just completed a long rest, what would you like to do?
I very much don't like the presumed safety of the Mazo.
Yeah.
Can we consult Sprigget?
Yeah, that's one thing we're discussing as well, taking Gwen to Sprigget and seeing what he says.
So the plan is to
Meow!
Oh, sorry.
There's a cat meowing at me.
Oh.
You were saying, Plant?
Sorry, I got distracted. So instead of dealing with the issue, we want to add someone else to the pot and get someone else involved.
Yep. Sprigget, Sprigget knows a lot about the Institute.
Not entirely.
He knows a lot about the city. I don't know, he might have some insight that we're not seeing. I think Sprigget's a smart man to talk to about this.
He knows a lot about the Institute before Baranot and his researchers.
The researching part of the Institute wasn't around
Yeah.
when Sprigget was in charge.
So yeah, he knows about the building, but that's about it.
I mean, he might still know the people involved, so they might have been there when he was there, just not doing research.
Not if you remember our talk with him when he said that no one he knows of is in the institute anymore. Even the students are already either gone or like showing up every now and then to get their studies in order.
Okay. So there's two ideas of two different people we need to talk to. There's Cornelian or Cornelian or however you pronounce his name to help with Dranth, memory wise and such, and there's Sprigget to help with Gwen and general advice.
Mhm.
Is it worth splitting up?
And do both of these?
Yeah, one group. Somebody watches Dranth. So obviously we don't want to be carting around the city for no reason. One group of people go and go and find Canellan and see if he can help us. One group takes Gwen to Sprigget.
Gee, if only someone could send messages to people.
If that's an option as well. I'm just doubting that Sprigget or Canellan will like make their way down here.
Cornella knows where we teleported to, so someone can go and meet him at the tunnels, which is not far away from here. Just a note, so we are not doing something stupid right now. This conversation is being led very silently, without any chances of Brand hearing anything about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
You can even make this conversation out of character if you want as well. It's fine.
Yeah, Cedric has just stood there with both his ears in Dranth's.
Yeah, that's
both his fingers in Dranth's.
that's what I'm imagining as well. So does
think-
that mean? Sorry, go on.
I think speaking to Sprigget around what's happening with Gwen is a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't
Do
think
you-
he would appreciate us involving him in the other side of things, so that would make
No.
him sort of an accomplice. And he might be
Zinni-
upset with us.
Zinni wants to speak with him.
With
Zinni sees him as like an elder, you know? Zinni,
and we understand that. The thing is, I for once don't think he can do anything about it.
well, I don't think it's so negative to tell him. Like, yeah, maybe he can't help us. But at the same time, Sprigget is someone who has given us a lot of insight on things that we've not thought about before. And I just think that speaking to someone as intelligent as him and who knows the city so well and all that stuff, maybe he has some insight or ideas as to what would be the best course of action.
we should.
It's not a bad shout. Like, he might know, for example, like if the guard would consider us, what we did to Dranth bad or not. But I think
Guys, the DM is considering it as bad. Like, he's told us a million times that it's bad. I believe that even if Sprigget thinks it's okay, it wouldn't matter.
yeah, but I mean the DM was sure one of us were going to die at the Institute, and we were made back perfectly fine. So what does he know?
The DM's a bozo.
True
Right.
and real.
There's no issue with, telling Sprigget about what's happening with the Institute. Don't get me wrong. I do believe that we should tell him some of it to an extent. Tell him that maybe Baronot's not around anymore and he can go back to his position and we can help him with that and so on and so on. However, I don't think we should include him in this criminal activity.
Okay, well, how about
Okay, we'll tell him, and if he reacts poorly, then we'll change his memories as well.
Yeah, that's very easy to do.
I mean, okay, would have been an idea if like Zinni and Cedric or somebody else to basically take Gwen to Sprigget.
Yeah.
Start off just talking about Gwen and basically see how that goes. And judge it like in a moment sort of thing.
And the rest of us are just gonna
rest-
stare at the
rest-
windows.
Well, the rest of us keep an eye on Dranth and yeah. Try and
But-
come up with something.
The time's what's increasing. Well, yeah, but the idea is you need to check what Brigitte opinion on the matter is. So we can't contact Cornell and ask him to modify someone's memory if we don't fucking agree on it. And Zinni wants to get some information from Spriggett to see what's best to do in this situation. Like, that's the whole idea.
I think Zinni and Spriggett have a good relationship though. I don't think Spriggett's gonna fucking dog on us either.
Oh, to be fair, he did know we were going to break into the Institute and all that.
Yeah.
And maps and such.
Mm.
If anything, he's an accessory to it all because of that.
Yeah, but we can deal with the situation quietly without bringing any more burden to people. However, if that's what you guys want to do, sure. By all means.
Well, I think you go talk to him about ask him to see if he can help Gwen first. I wouldn't just walk in and say, "Oh, by the way, we kidnapped somebody. What do we do?"
Citizen arrest.
Basically, take Gwen and see if he can, do a medicine check or something. On that side of things. If not, then you end up as where there might be a hospital you can take it to. And basically just from there decide, what else you want to talk to her about. I mean, things the whole Dran stuff we're still debating, but we do still need to sort out Gwen. And
Mhm.
that's the best way of starting that process, at least. Can I try doing a medicine check on Gwen? Because I don't think I have yet.
Yeah, go ahead and roll one.
If my character shouldn't.
A 5.
I just poke her with a stick and she's still asleep.
There's really not much more that you can garner currently, other than she's not resting. She's definitely in some sort of coma.
Can I do any check regarding to see whether there's like some arcane effect on her or
Roll an
anything
Arcana
magic
check, then.
related? Right.
2 plus 5 for a 7. Oof. Even with such a low roll, you are able to deduce that whatever is keeping her in this stupor is arcane in nature. The exact properties of it is a bit foggy, though.
What's the difference between detect magic and an arcana check?
Detect magic can just tell you for sure, and detect magic also gets to tell you the school of magic that it's from. Arcana check is just like, is this magical? And if you're really, really high on the check, it can maybe tell you the school.
I mean, is anyone able to cast detect magic? Well, I think we'll try that, have we?
I've got it.
Okay, well, as you cast detect magic, you can indeed feel and see an arcane aura sort of like emanating from her gently. It is of the arcane school enchantment, and that there is something perpetually around her body. Well, sorry, not around her body, but emanating from her body.
Didn't we already dispel magic? Yeah, we did a dispel magic when we had Gwen. When we first got to wherever it is Conan took us.
Did you? I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
You casted detect magic. You did. Fuck. I totally forgot that.
Okay, I'm taking my spell slot back.
That's fair. Yep. Anxie, you don't find anything on the Arcana check. You just find that she's in a non-magic, somewhat coma.
The fuck?
Okay, so the magic part of the coma's gone now.
Always had been, apparently.
Back to not knowing shit.
Yo, actually,
Okay.
someone roll a d20 for me. Don't care who, but I'm going to take the first one if multiple are rolled. 15.
Not bad.
Sorry, Zinni,
Ouch.
Andros beat you to it.
Always let Zinni roll.
Yeah, I will do. I forgot my rolls last session. Terrible as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
15 is good though. As a roll, it's not bad.
Any silvery barbs for DM?
Good try.
That's a funny joke. Good job.
Okay, well, it's probably worth taking her to a hospital then, if it's like non-magical like stuff.
Are there hospitals in D&D?
Yep.
Can I roll a history check and see if...
Places of healing, and yeah, you don't even need to. You walked past one on your way here. You saw it plain as day from the front door.
Aren't we healer? We're healers. Me and Shift. Mostly Shift.
Mm.
We have
Uh,
class heals on her as well.
She's maxed, basically. That's what Doug said when Shift healed her.
This building here is a hospital.
So if she's full health and she's got no spell on her, what the fuck's the problem, Mr. DM?
What the fuck's the problem with
wait,
someone in a
we'll
coma? That's a
find
good question, Zinni. If I had the answer to that, doctors around the world will be banging at my door.
So,
Oh,
question
no
is next,
comas.
so you pointed out hospital. Is that the cheap hospital? Is there a better one in the uppers? Or is
I
that
don't
the only
know.
one?
Can you see a building in the uppers that's of the exact same asset?
Which hospital?
Yeah. There
Where
is
is
one in
it?
the office.
What
There's
did you
one
just
there.
ping?
I mean, the
Daft
party's
Pink
pinging it
Daft.
for you now.
Oh yeah.
It's near
There's
one
Spriggan.
There's one near.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, it's right near Spriggan, so we take it to the hospital, and then after or as we're going there, we check in with Spriggan. We just need somebody to
You
keep an eye
thought
on
we
Brand.
couldn't play Where's Waldo, you fucking little shit.
I
She
was letting
stoned
you
you.
figure some stuff out by yourself.
There's another one there, by the way.
Oh fuck, there is, yeah.
I think if we go to the one in the uppers, since it's near Spriggan, we can walk past the Institute, so I can like summon a shambler and send it into Awesome Havoc as well. As we go
This
past.
map isn't very well thought out, is it?
It is. I just forgot that shit was up there.
Mhm.
It's right next to the arena. That's actually on purpose. I remember what I was making it now.
I mean, do we? Yes, we want to take Gwen up there, don't we? Then, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who wants to stay behind to keep an eye on Dran?
I can stand
Pip?
behind.
Yeah, you can just
Sid
keep
would
Sid
like to
behind.
do that.
Oh, Sid. Yeah, I mean, Sid is probably better at it as well, because he can chase him down if he just like teleport away.
True and real.
And I've still paid Pinchy to keep an eye as well.
I do not trust Pinchy.
Me neither.
Oh, nice. He's perfectly trustworthy.
And we leave the sending stone with Cedric, so he tells us if something's wrong, right?
Yep, and somebody explains to him that it isn't something he can just use whenever he fancies. It's only for emergencies.
I'm pretty sure we already did that last session. Or the
It's
one
in
before
there.
that.
But
Oh,
we
you
will
said you would.
definitely need to do it again.
Okay, we do that again.
Do what again now?
Tell Cedric how to
Explain
use
what the stone is.
Yeah.
I'd probably leave your woodpecker as well, Baylor.
I will summon a Fey Woodpecker and give it the same instructions to make sure Brant doesn't sleep.
Okay. Well, I know you told me last time, and I do remember, but how about you say it again, just so you don't forget what the stone does?
So, if you touch and rub on the front of the stone, it will light up, and then you can speak to it,
Mm-hmm, yeah.
and then we'll get that message on the stone that I have.
Yeah, as I thought. Okay, good.
25 words. I don't know if you can count 25 words.
I think, Baylor, I think that's like a good reminder for Axie. Yeah, how, just so you remember how to use a stone. But yeah, no, of course, like I'll
And
I'll
you
use
can
it.
only use it once per day.
Yep,
So
yep.
if
Once per
you're gonna
day,
use it,
I remember
make
that as
sure
well.
it's
Yep,
important message.
yep. No, I definitely remembered that. Yeah.
Good.
Tele-
Thanks, Sid.
Telepathic speech on him. Don't worry, Cedric. I can use sending instead of sending stones. Over.
Somebody able to cast Hands ability on him
Oh.
and turn him back into detective Cedric. More intelligence.
Look, don't worry, guys. I got this. I got this.
Can I write down the instructions and leave it with him?
He can't read.
Yeah, no, definitely. Write down the instructions, and that way, if Pinchy forgets, he can read it.
Okay.
That's a good point. We might want to just give the stone to Pinchy instead.
No. Staying with Sid.
And of course, I remember I had to use it. I'm gonna use it if I need to. Yeah.
I miss Scott.
I see. You just have something against short people. That's why you don't trust Pinchy.
I am a short person. What do you mean?
Pinchy is shorter than you, actually. Halflings are the shortest race that there is.
Okay, good. That means I can feel like a tall person. For real this time.
Several times in his conversations, and he's just walking over to Pinchy and just sort of like fucking stat checking him basically, and just like upright, just like, yep.
You all thought I was short.
So, remind me again what the plan was.
So we're gonna take Gwen through the tunnels up to the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and then check in with Swigert on the way back.
Okay.
We leave the place stealthily towards the tunnels.
That you
How are
do.
we transporting Gwen?
Well, don't fucking know.
Hey, look, can carry her surely.
I can. We can do a weekend at Bernie's and have our arm over two people's shoulders. And
Yeah.
Zinni can carry her, surely. Zinni wants to try. Can Zinni try?
Absolutely. Roll me a strength check. She's a small girl. You only need to hit an 8.
That's a save. That's a save. That's a save.
Oh, okay, now you want to redo it. Okay, sure, yeah. Hey, there we go. I'll allow it. So, with a 15, you watch Zinni walk over to the bed that you've got Gwen lying on. And she's sort of like,
I going to live.
the bed's like at a point where Zinni has to like get her arms quite up high to like pull Gwen off it. She started like yanking her towards her. And as she pulls, you think Gwen's just about to drop to the floor, but Zinni just like catches her in like a big bridal carry where she's like way out in front of her, and Zinni's just seeing over her crotch, and it's just sort of like, "Yep, let's go."
Oh, it's a bridal carry.
Yeah, but like one that's like very very big and like because Gwen's quite a bit bigger than Zinni.
Okay.
That's
you
not
have
gonna
a
be
s-
suspicious.
Do you have a spare spell slot for pass without a trace? Because that could be useful here.
Yeah.
I will cast Valor Trace.
I'm just
Okay.
thinking because of not only are we going to be walking in the open with her, but also we're going to be walking right past the Institute as well. So we want to be a bit sneaky.
Okay, pass without a trace. Everyone, roll me a stealth check.
I already did it. These are some good rolls, guys.
I'm gonna roll it again. 'cause it's
Just
pretty
waiting for the
hard.
Zinni one.
Oh, you got disadvantage.
I do, but it's
Oh,
okay.
Jesus, shit.
God damn. 4 plus 10 for a 14, still not bad.
I mean, the others got like 28 and 29.
But with you just leaving the grey zone and quickly shuffling against the mound, you circle over and find a familiar boulder leading to a tunnel network, which, since I deleted off the map, I'm now just going to show you the full regular one. Yes, this one's a little blurry. That's because I screenshotted it and then drew this on top of it, but you will deal with it.
Ooh, okay, that's spoiler.
Minorly, but I don't care to put the map that you were drawn so far back.
Okay, we need to check that mysterious room size section
Yeah.
that leads off.
That might be interesting.
I might just go off and do that now myself.
Yeah, guys, while we're doing that shit, I'm gonna go check the map. Can I join?
It's a quick
Well,
loop
just-
around. So it's like it's not going to take you. You could probably catch up if you were going quick. Since
Yeah, if I fast like walk/run, would I better catch up with them on the other side? Because obviously they're going slower, being carrying someone.
I would say that you can meet up like about the same. It's like a bit longer, but if you're going to be like walking briskly,
And also make myself go invisible as well, so I'm just running invisible. Just in case there's something there.
okay.
I don't know.
Can you roll
Okay, I'm not
me
coming with you.
a perception check as well, then, please? Okay. Running through the muddied corridor, going the left right this time, you find it's exactly the same as like everything else. Literally just mud everywhere. Occasionally the odd pebble, stone boulder sticking out of the wall. Making your way along, you do find a route that sticks out right towards the back of the ladies' garden, which you didn't notice this before, but all the housing behind the ladies' garden is incredibly dense, scrounge-like dense. Another tunnel that leads out to the back of the marketplace, and then one other tunnel that leads to some sort of a room. In this room, you find no one. You find just an empty bedroll, an old empty rucksack, and one little rat scurrying around.
Okay, well, keeping an eye on the rat, can I check what's in the rucksack?
Roll me an investigation check. Where you previously thought that this sack was empty, you actually find 1 copper piece.
Can I take the sack in case there's something in there I didn't see?
Sure.
I'll get somebody else to do an investigation check on it. Is there anything else in the room other than that, or
No, it is literally just that. It's just a hollowed out, muddy little room.
interesting? Okay, I'm just going to cast alarm in this room and then head back.
Okay.
Just wondering if anyone's using it.
Can you ping alarm in the chat for me just in case?
I'm surprised that wasn't a mimic.
It's 20-foot cube, so just covering the majority of the room. where I can.
Does it say anything about how the alarm gets detected? I don't think it does. It's just a matter of if it's tripped or not.
An alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area.
Yeah, but like for a creature to see the alarm spell, if possible.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't say anything about people seeing it.
Because it's a piece of fine silver wire, is what it technically is described as. But it doesn't say anything about rolling to.
Let me just check. Maybe I missed some stuff in the whole thing. No, it doesn't say anything about
Okay.
how to detect it.
Alright, cool. I'm just double checking. Yeah, you place down the alarm spell.
And I exclude the rat from triggering it as well.
Okay. So, you then start to hurry back along and find yourself back in the more familiar routes. And just before your group is about to come out the other side. Actually, which entrance are you two going to? Oh, you lot, sorry.
It's probably worth. It's a bit further away, but heading to the north one instead of the south one. But we don't go right past the institute.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably not a good idea to go around the institute.
Yeah, let's give it a wide berth there, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. If we really want to see what's going on there, we can split into 2 groups and can go and check, but I don't know how good of an idea that is.
Yeah, well, we
Okay.
got Gwen was to point it best, not to risk it.
Yeah, let's just
Then
not
better
risk
after I
it.
just whispered it off.
Right. So, making your way to the northern exit in the uppers, your entire group comes out into a nice, crisp, dry morning. It's actually pretty pleasant. You come out, Zinni carrying Gwen. You are now around here in the uppers, and you are free to make your way wherever you please. Where would be your first stop?
We get out of it stealthily and look around whether someone's seen us.
Thanks. You roll me a perception check then, please.
Hmm.
With a 17, you look around. You do see a ways over a fountain with some benches set around it, with some people on it, but you are actually very, very far away at this point from it. It's a very large fountain as well. But this set of houses or like apartments that you are near do seem to obscure this area quite a bit, and you feel pretty confident that you are undetected.
But I don't think we need to be too sneaky, because I mean, if anyone asks us what we're doing, we're going to have to some military heading towards the hospital, which kind of makes sense.
I mean, but no one knows about the tunnels. Do we want to tell everyone about them?
Oh, I mean, not the tunnels. I mean, we're already out of a tunnel, though. Like,
Well,
just
no, I
walking
meant
around.
I meant that we get out of the tunnel sneakily, and I was checking whether someone's noticed us there. That was the check for.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, we're out of a tunnel now, and nobody's
Oh,
noticed
yeah.
us. I mean, going forward, I mean, we don't need to be that sneaky.
Yeah, I don't fucking care about afterwards. I just cared about the tunnel.
Okay. So, where are you making your way first again?
To the hospital.
To the hospital. So, you make your way over through the streets. Quite a few people do gawk at you. You are, very much standout figures. There's a lot of recognition. Some questioning over carrying an unconscious woman, but people seem to be aware of your sort of like social stature and don't seem at least to pay it much mind. As you carry on, you find your way in front of a large teal blue building. The Hospital of the Uppers. Seems rather quiet outside with very minimal foot traffic. But the double door at the front is just open, invitingly so. You gonna go in then?
Head inside, then.
All right. Making your way into the hospital. First things you see, of course, is a clerk's desk at the front with a couple of people manning it. There, again, seems to be very few patients in here. You do see a couple sat waiting to be seen. But the girl at the front desk looks rather concerned at your approach. I would ask what I can help with, but I'm assuming this poor girl is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Right. Could you tell me a little bit about what's the matter?
We don't really know. She's just been in a coma
Right. And
the last few days.
few days,
It's been a
Uh,
day.
not waking up. Have you been able to feed her anything somehow?
No.
Okay, right. 12 minutes to get around a trip run away. Put her in a seat, please, and just I'll be as quick as I can. And they run off into, well, not run off, but they sort of like lightly jog into a back room.
look at Baylor. Surely she needs a bed.
Yeah, I think she needs a bed.
A man quickly comes out one of the side doors. Large, whitish coat. Wearing one of those headbands that's got a big metal circle on it for some reason. Don't know what the fuck they're for. He looks around. Checks you guys. Sees you. And looks over at recognition at another man sat on the other side of the room and gently beckons him over.
Huh?
Another 5 or 10 minutes pass, and a woman comes out in her whitish gown as well. Looks over to you and walks over to you. Hi, I'm fuck. My name's June. I'm gonna be your doctor today. I'm assuming this is the patient. It was a coma, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be okay to carry her into the room, please?
Yes.
Okay.
I've not put her down. I've kept carrying her because I don't think putting her in a C is right.
You carry into the hospital. Goes into a hallway. There's a couple doors branching off. Even just from when you've walked in front of other hospitals, you've noticed that others are significantly more busy than this one that you find yourself in now. There are a couple doors open. You see some nice sunlight coming through from some of them. These are all singular manned rooms for people. And you are eventually led to a room with a hospital bed, the ability to change how far you lean on it, whatever that's called. Nice little tables, 2 chairs in the room, and actually ensuite
it
bathroom.
reclines,
That's the one. Change your lean.
So it, like,
fucking. Oh my god.
it brings you up and it puts you in a seated position or a laying position.
Yeah, I'm
thing.
not
Okay.
with it today. But she presents the bed to you, and you gently let Gwen rest on the bed. And the doctor proceeds to ask you some questions. So I know you told the front desk that it was a couple days. Do you have any idea of the cause to what made this happen?
We believe it to be magic,
Right.
but we have attempted to dispel the magic, and we believe for it to be successful.
Okay.
She remains.
How long ago
Okay.
was that dispelling?
Oh, less than a day
Um,
ago.
Less than a day.
Or like 24 hours ago at most.
And there's still no sign of her stirring. Is she like moving, making noise with her voice a little?
No, not at all.
Oh. Well, you leave her with us. We'll of course tend to her, and we'll let you know if anything significant happens, or if we're going to do anything. Where is it that you live?
We're currently staying at the Ladies' Garden.
Oh, you're not residents of the Uppers then?
No.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Make your way to the front desk, and they'll talk about potential billing and invoicing, which I understand is a difficult thing to talk about, but needs must, you know.
Okay.
Okay. So, for the sake of brevity, we're not going to RP at all. The front desk tell you that it is a 20 gold per night stay at this hospital, and that if the doctors can determine anything to do with treatment, they'll let you know before they go ahead and do anything given her state, as they can't ask her.
Do we need to pay for days up front or?
They have asked you to pay for 3 days up front, and of course you'll be repaid back if they are not fully needed.
How much platinum how much gold is platinum laying?
10, 1 to 10.
10. Okay, I hand over 3 platinum.
Okay.
That's for a day and a half.
That's 3 days.
Wasn't it 20 gold per day?
Oh,
Like, how much gold per day? Was
I
it?
did say
I'll
20 gold a
hand
day.
over-
Thank you,
20.
Inksy.
I'll hand over the other 3 plus.
Okay.
Did you say anything? We could have
It
gotten
was
away with
wrong
it.
math. I don't like wrong math, sorry.
Trust the math nerd.
Abuse the idiot DM.
So, are you guys wanting to leave the
While we're
hospital
there,
now?
can we just why it's so quiet?
Oh, well, we provide a very, very good service, of course, and a lot of people in the uppers don't tend to find themselves in too much kerfuffles that they would often need to come to us. But those who do, through magical or non, always receive the best service here, which, again, comes at a price that some others aren't able to afford.
And excuse me, but while she's staying here, she would be taken care of, fed and stuff like this.
Yes,
even
they'll be
though
getting her
she's
on a
in
drip
coma?
immediately.
And I believe everything they've said, like that people are just simply not coming here because they're well taken care of and stuff like that, and not because they're too expensive and stuff like that.
Roll an insight check.
Now I roll natural 20. Thank you.
You get the feeling
Right.
that a lot of this speech is very rehearsed and is therefore being said quite mindlessly. You don't detect a conscious attempt to lie at all.
Okay. As long as they're taking care of Gwen, don't fucking care.
Okay, so as long as the hospital isn't a secret front for the institute.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we'll head out then, and we just need to make a point of checking at the inn every now and then for updates.
We need to probably pay the inn as well because we've not been there for a day. Ah, no, we're fine.
Mm.
Never mind.
Okay. So where are you making your way now?
Downtown, walking fast.
But you're going to Sprigget.
Sorry.
Okay. Making your way to Sprigget's house, which is a short walk away. It's this lovely house here overlooking the park. You, after a brisk walk, find yourself in front of Mr. Fiddletome's apartment, who, even before knocking on the door, you can hear something from inside. Sprigget! Sprigget, where are you? Don't hide from me! Trouble at the Fiddletome residence.
Feel like it's a bad time, guys.
Nah, it's never a bad time.
Right.
I knock on the door.
Oi, who's
Hide
that?
behind the rest.
See another one of yours? And you watch as the door very quickly opens. Sprigget comes outside immediately and closes the door behind him. Hello? Hello?
Frigate, it sounds like you're in trouble.
Zinni, lovely to see you. No, I'm not in trouble at all. My dearest wife does sometimes love to just raise her voice. What was it that you've come to me for?
Baylor, do you want to take this one about Gwen? I don't really know what I'm asking.
We
Yeah,
just
so-
left her.
So Sprigget, we were successful on our mission.
Right. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot to ask her this. Of course, yes. I'm sorry, I totally, with the concert and everything, I totally forgot with everything else that you'd been planning to do. Yes, go on, and please tell me.
So we've managed to rescue Gwen.
Oh, brilliant, yes.
She was affected by some sort of spell, however.
Oh.
They were probing her mind.
Oh.
The person who cast the spell said it's not a spell they normally use on humanoids.
Right.
So it seems to have done some sort of damage. We've managed to dispel the magic, so there's no magic left on her.
Oh, right.
However, she's still in a coma.
Oh. That poor
Have you-
thing.
Ever heard of something like this?
The human brain is a rather delicate instrument. There is plenty of magics that seek to manipulate it or to bend it or to completely override it. Oftentimes magic that lingers this long in a place so delicate can have sometimes lasting effects. It is not entirely unheard of that people go into a coma after significant, I believe the term is arcane trauma. The fact that you have managed to dispel the magic has definitely prevented the problem from getting worse. The question now that remains of whether they're going to wake is a different one. And with a temperamental answer, nothing's fixed or certain, I'm afraid.
Is the hospital that we took her to, has it got a name?
It just said Bralhafted Hospital on the front of it. It wasn't anything branded.
Because there's multiple hospitals in the city, so I just want to make sure.
Oh, you took her to the hospital here, did you?
Here in the uppers, yes.
Oh, that's good. All of the hospitals are somewhat funded by the Lord, though the one here is a bit more pricey. So you do get better service here, you know. It's the place where you're going to put a pricey hospital. I'm certain they'll take care of her. My wife once had a bit of a tumble at one point, and she needed to go, and she was very well taken care of the entire time she was there.
Great, that's good to hear.
I do. Come, let's take a walk in the park a second. Come with me. And he sort of is cautiously looking behind him at the house as you guys walk away. Is anyone else going to turn and look in the direction he was?
Yeah.
As you turn to glance back at the house, you see Mrs. Fiddletome stood in the window with her arms folded and a scowl on her face. Scowl on her face. As she watches your group walk off with her husband.
I give her a thumbs up.
She... roll me a perception check. Because you're walking away.
I'm walking away.
As well as I just say to Spigot, well, if she's unhappy, you can, if this might help, and I hand him the wand of smiles.
I know what this is, and I am not getting in trouble for using it again.
Again?
With a perception check of 23, Zinni, as you are walking away from the house and you giving a smile and a thumbs up to Mrs. Fiddletome, you watch as her eyebrow twitches, her scowl drops a little, and she turns and walks away from the window. You very quickly find yourselves... Sorry, what were you going to say?
Frigate, you said again. You've used this wand before?
It's somewhat of a practical joke item when I thought would be rather funny. I don't think she found it quite as funny as I did.
I would shed a big smile on her face.
That she did, my friend. That she did. Very quickly, you find yourselves walking amongst this park. It is a pristinely kept park, completely even grass, beautiful bushes of the most gorgeously colored flowers, and expertly kept trees, seemingly with every leaf or branch that falls to be picked up and swept away to ensure that the garden is kept looking immaculate.
Sprigget, has your wife ever laughed?
Oh, of plenty of times. She, you know, often finds my own clumsiness or misfortune particularly funny. Though I must say it certainly is quite funny. Might might not be the most uplifting to hear someone laugh so hardly about it. But you know.
The reason that I ask is every time we come round, she just seems to be disappointed in you.
Well, that is an observation. The accuracy of which I cannot comment on.
Fair enough. I'm just, worried about a friend.
Of course, I appreciate it. We all have our burdens to bear in this world. Some of them a bit louder than others. But that all aside, I would greatly like to know what happened with your excursion into the Zenith Institute. What did you find?
Zinni looks a bit hesitant and a bit worried. And she looks at her friends with a look that says, like, can I talk?
I didn't see any harm in telling him that they're like investigating Shambas and such.
I agree.
I don't say anything.
We learned that the Zenith Institute is investigating Shamblers.
Oh. Oh. That is rather concerning. Oh. There have been some rumors going around this last day or two that have already trended in that direction. With some passerbys and allegedly whispers from the students that there was a shambler inside the Zenith Institute grounds. Could
That rumor was
lend
correct.
that lends some credence to the rumors. Most concerning indeed. The Shamblers are indeed a mystery, one that ought to be investigated. Though I'm not sure Baranoth is one virtuous enough to do for no form of self-gratification.
Baranoth.
I was going to say, we should probably tell him that, Baron wasn't really in it for just for good sort of
Yeah,
thing.
that was what I was gonna do. Baranoth was essentially a bit power mad. He was using this opportunity to try and be the sole researcher of the Shamblers, which is why he kidnapped Gwen and
Oh.
why she's in the position that she's in. Because her husband, who has passed away, was also researching the Shamblers. So he essentially wanted to take his research and use it as his own
Right.
and cause harm to anyone along the way.
Behavior from Baranoth is most dastardly and most unexpected. In my brief dealings with him, he certainly did seem the kind to justify an any means necessary approach to his goals.
Yes,
Mm.
that's one way of putting it.
So this shambler that was within the institute and caused a ruckus, did it spawn within the grounds, or was it one that they had maybe kept there? I don't know.
We assume it's one that they've captured because they were doing all sorts of experiments on it. It's
Oh.
almost like an evil lab.
Oh. And the Voidstone certainly would see to preventing prying eyes from seeing what they're up to. Ooh. It all doesn't sit well with me. I'm sorry.
It doesn't sit well with us either, and that's why we feel comfortable speaking with you about it, because we trust you and we feel that
Oh. Well, of course, I trust you all as well. In the time that I was at the institute, it wasn't a perfect place. Sometimes we were a bit more lax on the students than we should have been, but it was always a place of understanding, of magic, and of one another. It was a place where those who felt isolated and alienated by the general populace could come to revel in similarities with their companions. It was an environment I was very proud to have fostered. It's deeply saddening to see the situation that has now befallen it.
I mean, if the opportunity came up again, like, would you want to go back there?
You see a complex look of emotions on his face, and it's quite hard to put your finger on whether it's positive or negative. It's very conflicted. I don't even know what to make of that question. I never was in the best of social standings in the first place, and having now left, being a social outcast, somewhat at least, still living within the uppers, but people love to turn their noses up at those who dare to want to live a different lifestyle. I don't know if I'd want it back. It's a place of many great memories, and a place of many soiled and foul memories as well.
Frigate. If I were to tell you details, things that we'd done in the form of a retaliation to what they have done, that may or may not be acceptable.
Right.
Would you still help us?
Does any roll a persuasion check with advantage?
Wait, that's not with advantage, right?
Just roll another single.
How do I? Okay.
With a 22, you watch as yet another somewhat complex look of emotions come across Brigitte's face. One of the aforementioned reasons that I was not in the best social standing while I was Grand Overseer was that I had a couple of, I would like to call them minor scandals, where I tried to ensure that some students wouldn't come to face consequences for their naive and stupid actions. I certainly would like to help. There is a threshold in which I would like to help that I'd certainly hope this wouldn't be beyond.
Well, can you tell us what kind of naive situations they got themselves in? That will help us understand
Oh God.
where the line is.
Some of the students developed somewhat of a culture where you watch as he starts to like gently blush. They would oftentimes on
That's right!
nights where they didn't have lessons the day after have somewhat intimate group sessions that started to get very out of hand very quickly.
How does Platt know about this?
She
I
read
read
the
the
notes. This is an ongoing problem still listed in the documents that were given.
Oh, this is okay. I need to read these notes.
They are in the important stuff.
In a couple of instances, some of the students became very heavily injured. I didn't ask exactly how, as I didn't exactly want to know, but there was some students who weren't all that pleased that these activities were happening and reported their fellow students for what they described to the guards was grievous bodily harm, though I feel that was a grand exaggeration. I did what I had the ability to do to make sure that this story tried to not come out and that those involved felt compensated for things that they witnessed that they didn't exactly want to. But they didn't take all too kindly to that. Flagging to everyone that they could about how Mr. Fiddletone was bribing the students to not talk about the orgies. And it is not, well, it is how it sounds, but it's, it's devoid of all context. It sounds worse than it is. There are a couple other incidents of, what with the part of the school being made of voidstone, it gave some of the students a certain level of confidence with using their magic, and oftentimes they would find themselves in duels somewhat that would go way, way beyond what we had previously discussed was allowable. Whilst I did try to do my best to quell what started to become somewhat of a dueling tournament, it was still reported, nonetheless, that it was happening under my watch, and that was another one of the, albeit I think still minor, scandals that had happened, especially when you consider what Paradox has been up to now. But regardless, that's the it was always my intention to keep those well-intentioned and unmeaning people safe from consequences that they shouldn't have. Not only because they were young, naive, and stupid like many young people are, but because they were coming to terms with many things, and because I felt a great fondness for them. They were my students, all of them. I may not have directly taught them all, but I treated them somewhat as kin.
This is an excellent note, by the way. I'd love to hear this read out in Spriggit's voice.
Why in
I mean, we
Spriggit's
can always
voice?
give it to Spigot and see what his reaction is.
Grand
Why-
Overseer, the students have been a bit restless lately, and I'm writing to you to not only inform you, but to ask for your advice. There has been a concerted and growing culture of the students hosting night-long mass intercourse sessions within their dorms.
Carry on.
So, what do we think of telling him about Jump? Maybe leaving out some of the details. But
Wait.
Zinni, I want you to read the rest of
Before we
this.
move on. Wait, before we move on. Spriggit, we're aware of this situation. We found this note, and I hand the note to him.
No, you don't.
Just the one bit about intercourse.
Well, yeah, but they're on me. and
It's
I'm
on
not
a single
giving them.
sheet of paper. You can give it over if you'd like, because it was like several stacks of paper together.
I want Spriggit to read it.
Okay, do as you wish.
Oh, you found this from within. It's addressed to the Grand Overseer. Did you find your way within Baronos' quarters?
Did we?
We did.
Oh, it'd be quite rude to pry, but you know. Well, I used to be Grand Overseer, so technically it's addressed to me as well. Whatever. Grand Overseer, students been a bit restless. Oh no, there has been a growing. So
Read it properly.
I assume that you've read it all yourself already.
I want to hear Spriggit read it.
Oh, if you insist, Zinni. There's been a growing concern and growing culture of the students hosting night-long mass intercourse sessions within their dorms, which has now been happening weekly. I know we've always left the students mostly remain to themselves. However, many of those involved, typically the older classmen, are not showing up to their classes over the next day or two. This has developed much more than when I was in charge. Baronoth should have his head on a spike for this. In one particular instance, a student was actually injured in what was only described to me as an incident with a harness. They still have them? Thankfully, the student was promptly healed by another student, but I fear that this may only encourage them to continue seeking their carnal desires with reckless abandon and no care for consequences. Please get back to me and inform me how you would like to proceed, as I am stumped, Harkness. Harkness, you should have been all too familiar with this already. That, Zinni, is oddly relieving. Thank you for showing me this.
Spriggit, is this the same reason why you are not the Grand Overseer anymore?
No. Baronoth sort of, in some ways, funded somewhat of a smear campaign against me and had me removed from position. When he joined the Institute. He campaigned, I guess, is one way to say, on the premise that I was not fit as I was, not stern enough with the students, was very lackadaisical, was a word that he loved to use, and that I, if I remember correctly, did not possess any form of rule management or awareness or care for safety of the children, which is completely preposterous, of course. But I just did what I thought was best for them. Do you know how it is? Well, maybe you don't, but I should hope you could be able to empathize.
Okay, so who agrees with telling him about again, maybe not all the details, but general sort of overview.
I want to tell him.
A general overview, I think, is okay. I'm not against telling him.
And also, should we tell him about what we think happened to what's his name? The guy who got eaten by a rabbit.
Baronoth.
Baronoth, that's it. What do you think?
I said once we started walking here, do as you wish. You can tell him whatever you want.
Sounds like 3 in favor and 1 against.
So what's a general overview? Do we tell him
I
that
mean, not telling him about the whole like Cedric, what Cedric did, and the whole like where
when
he
we
tried to sort his
arrived
eye
at
out and
Gwen's home, we found a dead Prezzo? Do we say that?
I think we already told him that.
He knows that.
Okay.
The general overview being like we've got him in our custody, basically, not much more than that.
Yeah. Be very careful how you. If you tell him anything about the distraction, because you've already mentioned that the Shambler was somehow outside of the residence, so don't forget that point. And be careful what you say about the distraction, because it might lead to Andros, spawning a Shambler. Who the fuck knows?
I think we don't need to worry too much about that because the advantage is they had a captured Chandler, so it's more
Well-
believable that it escaped than somebody else summoned it.
Yeah, but be careful how you present it, because we literally saw it inside, and Baron not reading its thoughts or whatnot, and then we disappeared. How the fuck do we know that it actually went out and it was in the yard afterwards? So just be careful how much you say, but yeah.
I mean, the one in the yard, I'm thinking they're referring to mine and not the one you saw, but people don't know that. But I think we generally don't need to mention anything about like the institute. It's more just like we captured him, and we're trying to work out what to do with him now.
So the details are a bit hazy. So we went to the Institute. I don't think I was there for that session.
I think coming to Sprigget's house you weren't, but I think then. Oh wait, no, you
She
weren't there.
wasn't.
Oh, does someone else want to take over and say that?
Yeah, the details are a bit hazy. I know that Ale was going on about levitating for a bit, and I think he spawned a Shambler to get through the wall or something.
Yes.
I know that there was a Shambler inside. I don't know if the guy was there.
So the important
The guy
part
was
with
there.
regards to Drand was basically you guys all burst into a room to find Drand mind probing Gwen.
So you were going to tell him we don't have to do this in RP, all of it at least. So you're going to tell him when you found Gwen, you saw Dranth probing him. You used you had Carnellen teleport you all away, where you ended up somewhere where you don't know.
Don't mention Cornell.
Carnellen was in the house, and Sprigget already knows that he went with you to the Institute.
Yeah, but we don't have to mention his name. It can be implied.
Okay, fair.
He didn't want us to mention his name.
So
No, we don't even need to mention we teleported out. We just say
Yeah.
we left.
you teleported out, went to some unknown place, got some answers out of Dranth, and then teleported back to the city. Dranth is now in a secure location, but you're unsure of what to do with him. It's like you're leaving out the fact that you've tortured him, the fact that leaving anything about his physical mental state out of this, just the fact that you've got him captured and you are unsure
Did
what
we
to
get
do.
answers out of Dranth though? I don't think we got much out of him at all.
We did, but we already knew them, basically, because they were on the notes we've read.
There was some that you didn't, but it's more
Yeah, but-
inferences about how he reacted to other things.
But also, like, what's the point of telling him about any of that and asking for help if we don't tell him what the situation is currently like? Because we are basically scared of giving him to the guards or whatnot, because he will present it as us kidnapping him, then torturing him. And if we miss out the torturing part, then it's like, well, why don't you do that? Like, it's literally kind of,
I mean, it's kind of implied by the whole we got information out of him thing.
Sure.
I mean, when I'm talking about like not mentioning things, I'm talking about like the whole like Cedric,
Yeah.
what Cedric did to him, and also the whole
Keeping him
Nyx
awake.
trying to take his eye out and Zinni guiding Bolton.
Can I also say that we asked him about the horrific things that he'd done and he showed no remorse?
That's a good point to mention. Okay.
Yep.
So you mentioned this all to Sprigget. He looks rather pensive about the whole thing. Oh, this this is all deeply concerning. I want to help in the best ways that I can, though I fear that many of the ways that I will be able to help are rather limited. I can tell you for certain, given that I know that you are very popular in the city, I don't think it'd be in your best interest to try to go so public with this. Try to keep this under wraps and prevent anyone from knowing if possible. I do like and appreciate you all, but if you were somewhat known villains, I would be in a way forced to not be in such close proximity to you, and I'm sure many others would feel the same. It truly is a difficult situation. Try to resolve it non-violently, because enough blood has been spilled on his part. You don't need to return the favor.
What might you suggest? A non-violent solution?
Given his position within the Institute and the current rumors at the current minute, and I do happen to know that relations between the Institute and the Lordship have not been the best for a long, long while. Should he go to the guards, it could act as a trigger for some sort of investigation but any investigation of the Institute would necessarily reveal your involvement in the illegal acts you did. If you can somehow manage to resolve this without killing him, ideally, please, but without him going to the Lords one way or another, or to the guards. Personally, I think that would be, in my opinion, the best way to go about things.
Wait, so what is Frigate saying that we do? Just don't go to the guards?
Don't go to the
Wait,
guards, but
you're
please,
nice.
please don't kill him.
So basically, none of what you're thinking about.
So basically, we need to find a way of being able to letting him go without him then trying to stop us in, basically.
So basically, modifying his memory is the only option we
I mean,
currently
we can
have.
also just intimidate him into not trying to tell anyone about us.
And that's definitely gonna work once he's gone.
He's been pretty
Well,
intimidated thus far.
I mean,
Yeah,
we intimidate him quite a bit, and also we've shown that we can get into some pretty secure places. So it's being in a part of the Institute isn't safe, sort of thing.
right.
Yeah, it'll be the good old, if you don't tell anyone about us, we won't, come for you, sort of thing.
Sprigget,
Yes, Anxie.
and I take it you wouldn't tell anyone about what we've just told you.
Oh, no, of course not, no.
Do I trust anything he's saying right now?
Roll me an insight check. With an 18, you're able to deduce that this topic of conversation is definitely bordering on uncomfortability for him. Being a person of somewhat official status before, he is used to dealing with matters that are in a similar realm of concerning, but that this one is a bit particularly more severe. He's anxious at the thought of what might have happened and what still could yet happen. And you get the feeling that his answer to what you should do, he is giving in earnest. He genuinely feels that it would be the best way to go about things.
I wanted to know whether he's gonna tell anyone if it basically ends up, being dangerous to him. I don't really care about his advice with that insight check.
You
It's just on my question,
yeah,
basically.
no, I got you. It goes back to the sense of uncomfortability. This is already a bit more severe than he is comfortable dealing with, and as long as it doesn't get more severe, he would
Mhm.
not start to be tempted to do the right thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh.
Frigate.
Hmm?
Sorry if this is a stupid thing to ask, but if we can't hand him into the guards and we can't kill him, then what can we do?
I'm not exactly privy to all the tools at your disposal. Though I do feel that Dranth, the blighted bug that he is, may be a bit inclined to not return. Baronoth has always been someone who views failure as a very sort of atrocious act, in a way. One that any individual should be even as far as cast out for.
Frigate.
At least that's what he spoke about personally while he was under me still.
What if Dranth had no reason to fear Baronoth?
I don't think there's anyone that doesn't fear Baronoth. Just the mere sight of him strikes fear into everyone
Sure.
around him.
Just a what-if scenario.
If Dranth didn't fear Baronoth, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't return to the Zenith Institute and try to smooth over what had happened. But with how I know that Baronoth approaches and deals with those who disappoint and fail him, especially on a level of this magnitude and on a level of this seriousness, someone breaking into the Institute and doing their best to undermine it, I can only hazard a guess to how vehemently angry that Baronoth would be at this whole situation.
Okay, speaking out of character, so the only reason we can't basically just get him to leave like the city and all that is because he knows, well, he thinks Baronoth's dead. Can we do that whole mind wipe thing on that part, so he doesn't know that he thinks Baronoth's still a threat, and that way he'll leave the city?
Sure.
Did we tell him that Baronoth is dead?
Yep.
I told him Baronoth got eaten by a rabbit. I had a very good charisma roll.
Yeah, you had a very good intimidation roll.
I think it was persuasion or something. It wasn't intimidation. I mean,
I think that's right, yeah.
Can I ask Brigitte,
Mhm.
what if using Baranoth is not an option?
As if Baranoth wouldn't be in the picture anymore? Is that what you're asking?
We don't know for certain, but let's just consider it a possibility for now.
Oh.
I'll just mention, yeah, it had nothing to do with us, sort of thing. But, yeah, we just heard when realize that he's gone.
Both of you roll a persuasion check. Zinni, you get to do it at advantage. Okay. Right, okay. With Baranoth out of the picture, first of all, the Institute would struggle for quite a bit. The Grand Overseer does a lot to keep things afloat. Not only maintain relations with other organizations throughout the city, but keeping the guards away is certainly one thing. If hypothetically Baranoth was out of the picture, I would not like to be in your position. And doesn't exactly sound like the best advice, but there's a reason I'm not an adventurer, and that I was a glorified teacher. I certainly don't have the stomach for such things, and I quite simply don't know how I would deal with this quandary.
You make it sound as though we're in danger if Baranoth is out of the picture.
I wouldn't say danger. I would say that there is a whole host of complications that might come with that. Baranoth is an incredibly competent wizard. Far, far more competent than myself. Incredibly competent. It's even shocking to hypothesize. But when someone of that sort of figure is no longer around, there are all manner of questions that need to be asked by all parties that might be tangentially involved. Though he's certainly not a benevolent person by any means, I think it would be best if he, or at least in your best interests, if he were still around. I'd love to provide advice on what you can or should do, but this is unfortunately far, far out of my wheelhouse, and I know not what potential answers may even be.
We appreciate your help, Brigitte. Thank you.
Yes.
Do you mind checking in on Gwen every once in a while?
Of course. I'm known decently well at the hospital. I'm known decently well everywhere. Sort of, not really in some places. Yes, regardless, I'll check on her once or twice a day.
We We received an urgent message from the druids, so we have to accompany Baylor back to the forest. So it'd be great if you could, yeah.
Right, okay. Certainly, I will do my best.
Thank you.
Whew. Well, Wayward Wanderers, good luck to you. I don't envy the position you find yourselves in, but you know, if there's any group capable enough to see things through, it's yourselves.
And good luck to you when you go back home, Sprigget.
I wasn't thinking about that this whole time, and now I am.
Yeah, I think I prefer to be in our situation than yours right now.
Well, to each their own, I guess. I shall see you all later. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you, Spriggett.
You slowly start to walk in different directions. Sprigget back to his house, and yourselves over to the main road.
So, thoughts?
So what next? I feel like we need to go to the druids and see what's happened and if he is actually dead. Because if he's not, and we can use it as some kind of leverage that Brigitte's just suggested, then yeah.
But we don't have to go to the druids to see whether he's dead. That would take ages. And I'm pretty sure Baylor sent a message already for it, didn't he? Or was going to.
I did send a message, yeah.
We literally, last session, we talked about how we should go to the druids after the arena stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can make it to the druids and back before the arena.
No, we cannot. That's why we weren't doing it, but... Also...
On one hand, it's not a bad idea. I'm just thinking, like, if we do end up releasing trans, be it we want mind web certain things or threaten certain things or whatever, being out of the city for a day or two might not be a bad idea, just in case something does go down.
I just think that we cannot 100% say. I always forget his name. The Grand Overseer is dead.
Baranot.
Baranoth. We know that a drow went there and a bunny killed him, but we don't know that it's him.
The bunny killing him is me joking, by the way. It was the druid we saw initially behind the inn. right at the start.
Yepetus, the one who
The-
transforms into a
Yeah.
giant bison.
Bison, that's it.
Well, we know that there are only 2 drows in the Institute, so it's either...
There's only 2 drows you guys have seen in this entire city.
3 with me.
It could be an unrelated drow wizard walking through the forest on a picnic or something.
We just don't know until we have confirmed it with our own eyes.
Wait,
We're
okay.
just making
Well-
an assumption. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a very good and possibly a very reasonable assumption, but it's still an assumption.
But okay. But even if he's not dead, or even if he's dead, like how does it affect us currently?
Well, it means that Baranoth, if he's not dead, then he's still in that tunnel somewhere figuring out that puzzle. And it also means that we can use him as leverage to blackmail Drant into leaving us alone, as
Well,
Brigitte's just suggested.
we can do that only if we erase his memory of him knowing that Baranot's dead. Basically,
Either that
currently.
or we threaten him enough, to not be an issue. One or the other.
Sure.
But I mean, I'm just thinking as well, like, it would also be useful if he does turn out to be dead. Us going there and speaking to the dead could give us some very useful info as well.
Good. But we've got the arena match.
Well, that's what I was about to ask. So obviously, every time we've travelled before, it's been with a cart and such, like fairly slow paced.
Mm-hmm.
How fast could we get there if we were on like horses going at like full speed?
You could probably make it within a day from here to Round Nibblegup, and then it'll be half a day to get to Edgewood, and probably another half a day still to get to the area where you started going into the forest to find the mound with the door.
I mean, also, wasn't the other team willing to delay the arena thing as well?
Levant was
Told them.
only willing to delay it because
It will take
the
their
Troubadour's plan of being in an arena fight was Nathaniel's idea.
They don't like Nathaniel. But what if we try to have a conversation with them and ask them to take over the whole arena match for us, and it's them versus Nathaniel because they don't like him. What if we convince them to do that?
You have one person's perspective on the matter. I hear Jay laughing in the other room. Levant only told you this because he felt that he could undermine Nathaniel. by
Jay, would Levant
postponing it.
and Nix want to do this?
Jay, hop in already.
I mean, it would be,
He knows how to
Interesting.
tell you this better than me.
because I mean, you'd basically be one team walking in and they start fighting each other.
You're on mute.
So I am, but to be fair, all you missed was me laughing. I need a moment on this one. Okay, yeah, Levant was quite open about like actively disliking Nathaniel. You didn't really get Nix's opinion on him. And like, there's 2 unknown quantities and a known simp.
But I mean, it is possible for there to be a delay, though.
You have ways of contacting them.
I think it all kind of ties in fairly well together. Then, like, if we release strength, one way or the other, we leave the city. That way, if it does go to the guards, I think we're not there for a few days. We check our insurance to confirm all that, and then by the time we're back, then we rematch.
Is what's his? Sorry, I'm really bad at names. Nix and
Levant.
Levant. Are they with Dranth and Sid and Co now?
No,
Not
they went
anymore,
off.
Nix had a moment, and then they just sort of both left. Which, by the way, I have an alibi for, since it has come up the whole eye thing.
So, do we have a way of contacting them?
Anxie has a way of contacting anyone she knows.
Too bad she disagrees.
Ooh. Maybe this won't be the only party that fights themselves in the arena.
I mean, what would you prefer to do then?
A few things. Like, for example, the thing we've been talking about for so fucking long. Like, or I've been talking to the fucking wall about it, I don't know anymore. If we actually want to let him go, and we want him to think that fucking Baronot's dead, or has already betrayed him, or anything, like, whichever we choose, we can really modify his memory and then let him go. The part for going to make sure that Baronot's dead, just, yeah, would be good to talk to his dead body, but we can definitely do it in a few more days. Also, the time it's gonna take us to get there, we will be already receiving messages from the druids as a return from Baylor's message. So we can simply just wait it out. It's not that long ago. waiting for the arena to be over and then not deal with it anymore, and possibly just leave the town in general. But yeah, if you really want to contact Nyx and Levant to make sure whether they want to fight Nathaniel in the arena, sure, by all means, I can ask them.
There is also the added thing of this arena fight has been a scheduled match. It has been heavily advertised and now also includes Carnell and Brightburn.
Yes.
It is likely
Mhm.
that the entire city is going to show up.
Hear me out, Dex. 6v1. I can take Connor.
No, you can't. Well, actually, 6v1 action economy is fucky, but yeah.
I was going to say, well, that doesn't give me much odds if you don't think I can take Carnell on his own and he's got 5 people with him.
Okay, well, I mean, breaking the issue down, so let's ignore what we do after Drant. Let's focus on, like, one thing at a time. So I think we settled on, like, trying to alter his memory in one way or another. Should we try and, like, find him, contact Carnell and see if he's willing to help us? Obviously, if he's not, then we
Yeah,
can't do it.
that, by the
anyway.
way, the modified memory, you have to remember, has a 24-hour time limit. You can only affect
Um,
something that happened in the last, or in this world, 27 hours.
Well, if
Higher
it's
spell
cast,
slots that can be, like...
it can
up
be
just now.
extended.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's cast in, I think, level 6 spell slot, it can be extended to 7 days, basically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've read.
Damn.
So, I mean, let's see if he's willing to do that first before planning any further, I guess.
Is that what we want to do? Because there is no fucking point if people don't want to do that. And,
Well,
like,
I don't think anyone was disagreeing with, like, the altering his memory and releasing him part. It just happens after.
I'm not trying to cause any issues for anyone.
I don't
I
think it's that you are
personally
trying to cause
think-
anything. I think it's more that Platt wanted to get this issue resolved and sort of like.
Yeah,
move
and
on
I'm
from
trying
it.
to do it in a
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a way because I don't like altering his memory. Yeah, it's a good idea, but I don't think it's a good idea for longevity. I think that it's going to come back and bite us in the ass in the long run. That's my only concern with it.
anything will come back and bite us in the ass as long as we not kill him. Like, if we kill him, we get. If we let him go, like, how do you expect to intimidate him so well that he will just forget everything that happened and leave?
Well,
Like,
that's why we need the Grand Overseer to. We need to confirm if he's dead or alive, and that will help us.
well, wait. So currently he thinks he's dead. How
Yes.
confirming whether he's dead or alive would help the situation? Like,
Because
if we confirm
apparently, according to Sprigget, if someone has brought shame to whatever research he's doing, then they get punished in a very unethical way by this man. So it instill fear to Dran.
I know, I listened. The thing is, we don't have to confirm what happened. We have to fix what he thinks currently. Because he currently thinks that the dude's dead. So nothing's scaring him.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've been saying, like, so we alter memory and
Exactly.
either do your initial plan of altering it, or we alter it so that he forgets what I told him that.
I mean, it currently makes more sense to just alter it for him to think that Baronot's alive and is gonna fucking kill him if he shows up.
Yeah, we basically like try and intimidate him alongside intimidating, but like you
Yeah.
leave the city, otherwise he's gonna fuck you up.
But then
Like-
my next question is, if Baronoth is in fact dead, and
mean,
he
he's gonna
never
be
comes
gone.
back, eventually Durant is going to come back and bite us in the ass at some point.
Okay, but if he's dead and we confirm that he's dead, how is it gonna help the situation?
Then we alter the memory the alternative way that you suggested.
And still not sure it would work.
But-
He might
but-
just go back.
I don't think we can head over to the Druids while we've got Drone. Because the problem is he's still stuck in exhaustion. And by that point, he'll be dead.
He's gonna. Well, he's been awake for like 1 day, so he has 1 exhaustion point, and he's gonna. I think he needs 5 to die.
Yeah, but
I
he's gonna-
think the
he's gonna be,
sixth one kills.
So
It's gonna be at least
yeah.
like a day or 2.5 days to get the Druids. So, I mean, obviously getting back as well.
And for the arena match, I'm just trying to come up with a creative way to create a fun arena match because us not showing up is definitely not going to look good. But if the opposing teams show up and then half of them turn on the other half, then at least that comes up with a solution that
Yeah.
it's an interesting match
I get
and
that.
people are not like so pressed against us for not showing up.
Don't get me wrong, Sydney,
We're
that
gonna be
is
hated.
interesting, but just as a counterpoint, the Troubadours on the poster, it's literally just in name written there. All of
This is
you
what
are
I
the
was gonna
ones with your
say.
pictures there.
Yeah.
Carnellan's name has now been pasted on top of all of you. This has basically got nothing to do with the Troubadours. Like, the
Yeah,
fact that
but
they
like-
show up or not, no one's going to really care. No one knows who they are.
It would be very interesting as players, but in universe, like a group of 6 people who don't really matter have a falling out in an arena is kind of not really news.
Yeah, it's like you go to a concert and the headlining act
What do you
that you
mean?
paid
Like
to
the
be
Jerry
there isn't
Springer
there.
Show. Everyone fucking loves that shit.
Yeah, but
Jerry,
you tune
Jerry.
in looking for it. You don't like this is more akin to like you paying
Almost
concerts to
film,
go
yeah.
see one of the most famous bands in the world. Then you turn up, they're not there, and you're just left with the opening act, who like is some unnamed band you don't know.
What if they're a good band?
You think the
Well.
Troubadours are a good band?
People want to see the heroes of Edgewood.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Like it's not that your idea was any bad or anything. It's just that we need to basically look at how things are currently.
I think
just
if it's
trying to
going to
do
come
it
back
in-
and bite us in the ass, it's something we can deal with when it comes up.
And the thing is, if we threaten him, he's not gonna like move one town over. He's going to basically disappear if he's that scared of him.
That is the thing, right? The something that Anxie mentioned as well is that like, how are you going to intimidate him so good? As soon as it comes down to the final intimidation check to whether he's going to leave the city or not, it's incredibly unlikely he's going to like undo that and come back at some point. It's like how many times do you see someone run away to like an entirely different city, go and live somewhere else, and then do they ever come like crawling back? It's like, I kind of regret that. As sort of like how in a video game, like when a quest ends, the quest kind of like ends unless there's something planned to happen later.
That doesn't instill confidence in me at all.
Yeah.
Unless something is planned later. Well,
I think it's the best option we have.
okay.
Well, then let's intimidate him.
I mean, intimidate with the mind thing as well.
Huh?
Well, so, Ultra's memory, so he forgets that Baronoff is dead.
Okay. And
And
then
then
additionally,
Additionally, interrogate him,
okay,
intimidate him, etc.
that could work.
Obviously, to do that, we need to check with Canellan first to see if that's even an option.
Yeah. So, anyone has any objections to that? Anyone has anything else to add? Say, should I contact them?
I mean, obviously, pending whatever else says, but I'd say sending.
Okay.
All right then. Anxie, we're at your behest.
Oh yeah. I use sending on Cornellan and I say apologies for bothering you again. Are you able to modify memory? And we need help, possibly the best way of dealing with the issue. That's what I say.
You send the sending spell out and into the world, and you feel it find purchase. Takes like a minute or two for you to get a response back. Yeah. I'm well versed in that spell. I can help out, sure. Come pick me up at your room.
Okay. One thing, he's in our room in the ladies' garden, so I suppose we need to go pick him up from there.
I guess we can head back to the cheeseburger tunnel that leads near there.
There
was.
was that you have uncovered recently.
Oh, the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can skip through around and go straight there.
Okay.
Okay. Only takes like an hour-ish, but you guys find yourself in the mess of houses behind the back of the ladies' garden. It's a very dense set of housings, and it's all sort of like ramshackled, like barely put together wood huts almost. It's like that bad. Especially behind such a nice inn, it looks kind of like out of place. But you guys mosey on through, come back to the front desk of the ladies' garden. Are you guys just heading straight up to your room?
I'd like to check whether we have to pay for a few more days.
You already paid off all the construction work, right?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure we paid for like 2 or 3 more days. So if anything, we would have to pay for afterwards. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, you're asked if you would like to extend your stay, and if so, by how many days?
Yeah. And I believe it was like 3 days, but until now it should have been like a maximum of 2.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be fine for at least 1 more day, I believe, but I'm not sure.
Okay, then that's fine. You guys head on up to your room. Outside of your room, you find several lugs, Lord's Guards, in nicer trimmed armor than usual. In fact, it's a similar trim of armor that you saw when you went and visited Lord Hennett Halfthird at his lord's mansion. It seems almost like a very personal detail of guards out here, waiting just for you. Ah, wayward wanderers. We were wondering when you'd return. Nothing to report. Everything's good.
No one's came into our rooms while we were gone?
No, nothing of the sort.
Right, okay, thank you.
It's been a rather quiet time.
I just say under my breath, I swear to God, if we open the door and Nyx is in there.
You wouldn't see them.
Yeah.
As you do open the door, the first and only thing you see is Carnelian, lying in the ornate leathers that you had originally met him in, leaning back in your chair, legs up on the coffee table. Oh, hey.
Hello? I don't think
Sorry, what were you saying?
I don't think the security detail is not good. They had no idea you were in here.
Oh, no, they knew. I was out chatting with them a second ago.
Then they were lying.
Well, I mean, they know I'm supposed to be here, so I've come in and out a couple times now. Cause I guess we're a team now. Well, till the match at least.
Oh.
But
Uyghur.
Yeah. Hey, did you all you guys enjoy the concert?
Oh yeah, very much so.
It was amazing.
Nice. I'm glad. It's difficult to get the performance just right, but even with the little preparation I had, I still think I managed to pull things off. But Anxie, if I
It
may.
was Oh, sorry. It was totally great, and I totally didn't fall asleep.
Nice.
So you need to roll a deception check for that.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I mean, it's got to be deception, right?
Oh, sorry,
It's gotta be deception.
deception with disadvantage. Sorry, yeah.
The fuck?
Wow.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Zinni. It's always good to hear from my fans. But Anxie, if you don't mind, could you come a little closer? And his tone goes dramatically downwards and quieter as he sort of like
Okay.
beckons you over to almost a whisper, invoking the idea of modify memory.
You walked out.
Oh. Invoking the idea of cast of modify memory is interesting. I'm assuming you want me to scrub away a couple details, maybe replace something
Yeah,
a bit different.
you'd be correct with that assumption.
Well, thankfully I've used the spell quite a lot, so I'm quite familiar with it.
You do.
Yes.
Dare I ask for what?
A very quick embarrassed look comes across his face. I think that's a story for another time.
Like all the stories.
Well, I promise, I've got some really good stories, but they have to be told at the right time, you know?
That's fair. But you are willing to help us with that.
Of course. You're my teammates, and you've all got. He starts to look across at all of you and gives all of you a bit of a smirk. You've all got a special place in my heart. And as he tends to look back at just you, Anxie, he gives you a barely noticeable wink.
Okay. Well, you did seem rather eager to get rid of us once the arena is over. But I'm happy you're part of our team.
Well, I mean,
And
team as far as the unit goes until the match, whatever is beyond that, I'd like to explore.
yeah.
I'm usually
same.
a bit of a solo act, as you can tell.
I don't think any of us can do any of the musical stuff.
Oh, I'd be
What-
ashamed if you could. I wouldn't have been doing it this long and be able for anyone to catch up with me.
We could possibly help you with the staging, I suppose. Can make a few of your fans experience terror in their head.
That sounds a little counterintuitive to a performance, but
I was
I
joking.
like your enthusiasm.
I was mostly joking.
Are we
but
all able? Is this still in whispers, or are we all able to hear it at this point?
I
It's-
have no idea.
It's a lower tone conversation. If you want to deliberately try to overhear it, you can. He's not like trying to hide it from you. He's just naturally speaking a bit quieter.
Okay, I was just thinking if you want to help his performance, like the whole bit of a start where like he turns into like a monster thing. Yeah, we could make that an actual shamble.
Andrew's being like, so I have notes.
You want realism? I can do realism.
Your shamble was like so off. You didn't even get like any sort of like coral reef vibes on him and nothing. It was gross.
Oh my god.
So we're I expected you guys here last night. Where are you keeping him?
Well, well, we've got a rather safe spot he's staying in currently, and we kind of couldn't leave him alone there yesterday, so we couldn't come here.
Understandable. Right, okay. Well, I mean,
Did-
you want to head out there?
Yeah, it would be great.
We'll take you there, but just bear in mind don't go talking to anyone about that spot, if you don't mind.
Oh no, of course, I'll be as silent as anything. And I think people will barely even notice me. And he snaps his fingers, and you watch as a sort of mist goes over him. And you now see Nyx sat there in the sofa.
Oh, not Nyx.
It was me all along. No,
Who's that person who's with Nyx normally? What her name?
Levant.
Levant. I guess if we're going to go as a matching pair, then I'll use alter self to Levant.
this is becoming a thing, isn't it?
Yep.
So, Nyx, Levant,
Enos.
Anxie Baylor, and Zinni are now leaving the ladies' garden.
And the guards would see two different people they didn't see before, but no issue.
One thing you did notice in this room, by the way, the cloak that Carnellum was wearing during his performance that looked like lava rocks is hung up on one of the doors in your room, on the front of it. As you guys all leave the apartment now, he gives sort of like a knowing nod with a smirk to the guards, and they sort of like, oh. Later,
I'm
Mr.
gonna hang
Brightburn.
back- I'm going to hang back just a little.
Okay.
What was that one?
And
Pick
I'm
the
going
room.
Nathaniel.
to look at speak to the guards.
Mm-hmm.
How long has he been in our room?
Oh, he's been back and forth since the performance. Well, he told us that he's staying here with all of you.
Got it. Thanks.
Oh,
I'm just gonna-
he did have a guest at one point. She was gone pretty early in the morning.
Thank you. I'll catch up with the rest.
Okay. So, you are now walking back to what I presume is the grey zone.
I'd suggest going through the tunnels, guys, because if we go around the twins, Levant and Nyx might see each other.
Or people might see two of
He
them.
knew. Yeah.
Oh, it would be funny if we went into Nathaniel.
Oh,
The twins is in the inns, in the.
In the
Yeah,
Sprouts.
there's never two ins.
Oh well, they'll. I need to just do
Needs
a
to go
quick
shit.
side quest.
Oh, lest we forget, yes.
Just got got to
There's
do
good gold on
a
that.
stop along the way, guys, if you don't mind.
Okay, Zinni.
I briefly thought you said a scup, which would have worked.
Oh, did you say stop?
Yeah.
so you can make your way through the alleys, so it's not just openly on the main road. But, Zinni, what exactly do you have in mind?
I was joking.
Oh.
Do
Okay.
you want me to go and do the quest?
It's
I
up to
don't even
you.
remember what we discussed last time because it wasn't me pooping down the thing. We were going to shove someone else's poo down there, and I don't remember because it was like 20 sessions ago.
No, I think it was
You can
that.
get a donor.
I think we just gave up on it because it wasn't
We
working.
were gonna get like a dog poo and throw it down there.
Well, you've got to be very careful as well. One of them you had to poop down, the other one you had to piss down. Do you remember which one is which?
No, but it's in my notes, so I can find it.
I can help you, I remember.
Why was this not labelled on the map?
Yeah, one building named Poop, one building named
Alright.
Piss.
So Betty is the barmaid of Haftard's finest. Gary wants us to piss down the Jules chimney for 45 gold. Where's the other one?
I think you might have not written it because I pasted the
it was the
job
quest.
itself. So the quest was from this one to go poop the northern one into the southern one's thing, and then you went and spoke to the twin of the southern one, he told you to go piss down the northern one's chimney. Well, slightly more gold, I think you bargained from him, right?
Yeah. What?
What the fuck did I put this under on my notes?
Wasn't it pooping on the north one and pissing on the south one? Weren't
It's pissing down the Jules chimney, so I'll be shitting down Hafford's finest chimney.
Yeah, I
Halford's
assumed...
finest is the southern one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And
If you haven't found it, that's Family Feud and Obsidian.
It is called Family Feud. That's what it was. Okay.
and that's where the Nathaniel and friends are staying in.
You've seen Nathaniel and Emmett at least in one of them.
In the Jewel, which is
That's
the
kind
northern
of-
one.
Yeah.
Well, Zinni, the stage is yours.
Is Andros coming with me?
I don't see any Andros here.
Andros was meant to do this with me. Let's save it until Sid's back. Sid can do it with me.
I'm sure he wouldn't want to miss it either. That's probably going to be the highlight of the campaign for him, since he loves talking about poop so much. God,
Yeah.
Scup,
I'll
what's he
convince
like,
him-
you know?
I'm gonna convince him to do another poo. Just you wait and see.
I'm sure
Still
you
training,
will.
like, on command.
I'm pretty sure you can convince that boy to do
Scup,
anything.
sit. Scup, poo.
Oh, shit.
Good
Oh my
boy.
God.
Just make sure you say Cedric, not Scott.
yeah. We got to keep up the RP. Come on. Seriously.
Oh my fucking god.
Okay, so for the time being, you're just gonna head over to the Grey Zone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And rather stealthily when we're going around the place we know Levant and Nyx are in, usually.
Well, you can walk along the mound and be very far away from it. But
Okay.
so making your way back to the Grey Zone, you find Adranth, head dozing back and forth and bleeding from his temple somewhat, where a woodpecker has been fucking having at him. You see a Pinchy milling about, flicking through a somewhat moldy deck of cards. Looks a little gross. And you see a Cedric sat on the center table, legs crossed, staring at Dranth. Stone out beside him, laid on the table as well.
Before we get to the place, I think it's better to relay what exactly we want to be modified, not in front of Drant. And just to be on the same page, we want him to modify his memory of what happened when we told him about Baron not being dead. And I believe that's when Zinni also hit him in the back and we told him he can go, right? Is it within the same amount of time?
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, could we also, because obviously we need to replace it with something, could we also implant something that, like us talking to each other and not talking to him, mentioned that Baronov's looking for him? Hence why we have to hide
Baronoff
there.
is furious.
Yeah, we can basically tell that Baronov being furious because of the failure of a job he's done, and now we are probably in the same danger as him. So it wouldn't look like we are, definitely lying, maybe. Or should
I
we-
have an idea.
Yeah?
We could tell him that Baronoff has put out a wanted thing to the guards for him, and that he can be convinced that the guards are looking out for him, so he'll stay away from them as he leaves the city.
We could.
Yeah, not bad chat.
So just to be sure, we modify the part of his memory where we told him that Barinot's dead. It's the same time as when Andros told him he can leave, and Zinni shot him in the back, and then we fought. So that part of his memory is pretty much replaced with the memory of us talking about how Barinot's put a warrant for him, and basically the rest we just spoke about.
Yeah, like
Alright.
you mentioned, like, how we're probably going to need to relocate soon because of, it's
Okay.
been hunted down and such.
So that's the conditions then. And once cast, he will have to roll a wisdom save, I believe. And one exhaustion point is disadvantage, not checks or saves. I'm not sure.
That is true. However, Drow is an elf, and
Oh, so he
elves
has-
have a racial ability to give them advantage on saving throws against being charmed.
Okay.
His
that's fine. So
exhaustion
he's-
point cancels that out, so it's currently a straight roll, unless there is a spell that you would like to use to impose disadvantage on him.
I don't think we have such, but
Would
I'll be
he have-
rolling silvery barbs.
Would he have disadvantage if he was frightened?
No. So this is a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I can hex.
Oh yeah, I think Hex gives disadvantage on something, but
On a chosen saving throw, I believe.
Yeah, you choose one ability where you cast a spell. The target has disadvantage
Yeah.
on ability checks made with a chosen ability.
so
And it does no
he
damage. As I hit him.
he gets the disadvantage.
Yes, I'll give him disadvantage on wisdom.
Okay.
If he succeeds, I'll be sending silvery barbs.
Yeah, good to go then.
Right, let me just bring this up just to make absolutely sure. You attempt to reshape another creature's memories. One creature that you can see within range makes a wisdom saving throw. If you're fighting, blah blah blah, no. On a failed save, the target has the charmed condition for the duration. While charmed in this way, the target has also the incapacitated condition and is unaware of its surroundings, though it can hear you. If it takes damage, blah blah blah, that's obviously no one's going to do that. While this charm lasts, you can affect the target's memory of an event it experienced within the last 24 hours that lasted no more than 10 minutes. You can permanently eliminate all memory of the event, allow the target to recall the event with perfect clarity, change its memory of the event's details, or create a memory of some other event. Nice. You must speak to the target to describe how its memory is affected, and it must be able to understand your language. It fills in any gaps in the details of your description. If the spell ends before you finish describing the modified memory, the creature's memory isn't altered. Otherwise, the modified memories take hold when the spell ends. A modified memory doesn't necessarily affect how the creature behaves, particularly if the memory contradicts the creature's natural inclinations, alignments, or beliefs. An illogical modified memory, such as a false memory of how a creature enjoyed swimming in acid, is dismissed as a bad dream. The DM might deem a modified memory too nonsensical to affect a creature, though in this case, I think we have... Not only do you have enough background details, but you have enough knowledge that Dranth is aware and scared of how Baranoth is. Even himself talking about how he's punished other people, and in the notes mentioned about how Dranth has somewhat been threatened by Baranoth with this as well. So, Andros, would you like to get this ready and hex the boy, will you?
Yep, I'll put it in chat. I'll cast hex on him with wisdom as the ability check he gets the disadvantage on.
Carnarvon approaches Dranth in his chair. And even in this moment, somewhat disobeying the demands of its master, the Fey Woodpecker notices the gravity of the situation and flitters over to Baelor's shoulder. Carnarvon stares down at Dranth, quietly, with disdain. He snaps his fingers and mutters a couple of arcane words beneath his breath. Dranth will roll wisdom saving throw with disadvantage.
Roll low.
Let me actually, first of all, bring up Tranth's character sheet, which I, for some reason, didn't think to do before this. I will be completely clear with you.
He has like a -10, no problem.
Dranth has a +2 to his wisdom save.
Mhm.
And this is a disadvantage. You know what? Have a look
Ooh,
at my
nice
dice. Can you guys see it?
Sort
can,
of.
yeah.
We
That
can't,
is
but
an
it seems like a
18.
single.
And a natural 1.
Okay, he failed.
He has failed his wisdom saving throw.
So the hex paid off.
Yeah.
It definitely did. And you watch as Dranth slips and slumps in his chair, closes his eyes, head falls back over the chair. And Carnellin begins to speak to him. You will no longer remember being told of Baranoth's demise. You will no longer remember being told that you could leave and then blasted in the back. And you will no longer remember our group's argument together. What you will remember in place is the group quietly talking and you just barely overhearing that Baranoth is furious and has set out a bounty on your head and given it to the guard. You also believe it would be most pertinent to leave the city as soon as possible to escape Baranoth's wrath. And Carnellin, at this point, stops talking and then looks to you, Anxie, as if to sort of like indicating, talk to me in my head.
Hello.
Did I forget anything?
I believe you did great, and that's it.
Okay. Also, you will be very ashamed of the several poops that I can smell that you have taken in your pants. And then he snaps his fingers again. You watch as Dranth slowly stirs, opens his eyes, calls where he is. How long are you gonna keep toying with me? Just kill me already. I'm basically a dead man.
We don't want your blood on our hands. We do want to kind of not get rid of you, but not have you with us anymore. What are you planning on doing if we decide to let you go?
What's the point in even talking to any of you? I'm fucking a dead man standing. Why don't you just kill me? Get me over with. Just a bit of mercy.
It's probably not a good idea for us to kill him, guys. I'm thinking Baranoff might be even more pissed if we do that.
Yeah, I believe it's time he deals with the consequences of his actions.
Fuck that.
I say we just kick him out and let him fend for himself. Baranoff will catch up eventually.
No. Please just kill me.
Sid, could you please unchain him?
Yeah, sure. And Sid walks over and just like with his bare hands just pulls apart the rope. I wasn't really paying attention. We just letting him go?
Yes, Sid.
Oh,
He won't be very far anyway.
probably not. I caught him real easy last time.
I'm sorry. Speaking out of character, Zinni, do you still have any of that dust to disappearance?
Do I?
I
Inventory?
believe it was a one-time use, and you did use it.
Okay. I was just wondering.
You're right. I don't have any.
It's fairly middle of the day, isn't it?
Hmm.
Should we let him rest a bit before we let him go? As in, like, just leave him here for a bit.
We don't need to stay here.
Yeah, I
We
guess
can
we
go
could.
back
We,
to our
we
own
could.
right.
We could clear
Yeah.
out and just say, I'd recommend leaving, before,
Yeah.
or when it gets dark.
You watch as the now unbound Dranth sort of starts to try to get to his feet and immediately falls down to his knees at the lack of strength within himself.
I get some food and water out of my backpack or whatever I'm bringing, and I relay it to him.
This is quite possibly the most sadistic thing you could do. Not even a mercy kill.
Oh, I tell you what. Just because I feel like if you a sporting chance, it'd be more fun to watch. And I just flick a golden coin over to him, to give you a slight chance of getting out of the city.
My life's some kind of game to you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sorry, but was I some kind of game to you?
He looks at you, Anxie, and a different sense of recognition comes over his face. Recalling memories gone by. Anxie, look. Things went the way you did because you meddled in a place that you shouldn't have. But for what it's worth, I really, really thought you were so cute. And I wish things went differently, but you opened your mouth in a way that you shouldn't have done. I don't regret what
see.
I did, but I wish it could have happened differently.
So do I, believe me. Well, what's done's done, isn't it?
Fuck.
I put like 1 platinum in his pocket, and I just say my goodbyes and leave.
You watch as he starts to rub away the blood that he realizes is dripping from his temple. As Anxie leaves the building, staring at the rest of you in a somewhat pleading manner.
How
I'll
low
call my
health?
woodpecker over and I will leave the building.
How low health did we leave him? Do you guys recall?
He was on
think it
literally
was-
1 HP.
Okay.
He's going to take a risk now, though,
He's
right?
gonna take a rest.
he's gonna
Just
take a
don't
rest,
bother.
fine,
Yeah.
fine.
It's-
I
it
just
can't
motion-
move.
I kind of motioned to Pinchy that we should leave.
Oh, what? You want to leave?
Yeah, we've got somewhere nicer. I can hold up for a while if you want.
Well, you got an extra room for me?
Yeah.
Fucking sweet! Let's go. Little loser! And Pinchy just sort of like strolls out of the building. Connellan left right behind Anxie. And it is now just Zinni and Dranth in the room. Dranth trying to group up and recuperate the strength he had and pick up the food and walk over to the table. You're evil, you know. You really are. Hey, yo, Tony.
Yes.
It was a scene for you. Dranth, you're the last one left in the room. Everyone else has left. Dranth picks up the food, walks over to the table, looks to you, and says, "You know, you really are just evil."
I'm nothing of the sort in comparison to you.
He just sort of like looks you up and down, unsure what to make of you. Quiet silence fills the grey zone. Would you like to take your leave, Zinni?
Yes.
And as you leave, and you hear, as soon as you exit into the hallway, you hear a starved and disheveled man start gnashing into some food. You leave and are rejoined with your companions.
As we leave, can I put an alarm on the door just so I know when he leaves?
You can. And as this tumultuous aspect of the story is brought to a close, you can't help but think about how different things could have gone if different things happened. Maybe you're sure you made a right choice, maybe you aren't. But the world has changed irrevocably today. Let's hope that it was one for the better. Wood Wanderers, you now find yourselves outside of the grey zone. What would you like to do?
Drinks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drug sounds pretty good. Carnellum re-ups his alter self, and you guys begin to walk back to the ladies' garden.
Immediately go on a bar crawl.
It is like middle of the day right now. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to do?
So I guess once we get to the bar, we probably need to discuss plans on how we're going to fight in the arena match.
It certainly is the next big thing on the list of things to do.
Although, I'm interested, we ever hear back about going to the Lord's Library?
Yeah. We can check at the inn whether there's any messages for us, but
As you get to the inn, you see several of the trimmed up armor Lord's Guards actually leaving the ladies' garden. Do you want to try and get their attention at all, or are you going to leave them about their business?
we all see that?
They're sort of like 20 feet away from you, them leaving the building as you're heading towards it.
I look at Colonel and I'm like, is that meant to happen?
Oh, I don't know, maybe it's a shift change or something.
Okay. I wouldn't mind them being gone.
You guys heading inside?
Yeah.
The moment you head inside, there's a clerk at the front desk that you always pass through, and you watch as she's like scrawling a note frantically, and she looks up at you. You guys, I was just trying to, those guards that you just have. Did you speak to them?
No.
Well, they just came by to tell me that well, to tell you, but they told me to tell you that the Lord expects to see you something about a library.
Oh, when?
At your earliest convenience, they said.
Drinks, library. Drinks, library. Okay, thank you.
We have another proposal.
Yeah.
Drinks, lunch, in library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're so expecting drinks in the library.
No.
Considering we can get to the other side of the city fairly quickly, through the tunnels, then yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Considering they're expecting us, I think we should take the legit route.
Yeah.
Maybe I was
So-
expecting us like, okay, yeah, either way's fine.
Change of plans, team? Library?
Yeah. We're here at the Lord's Garden. Let's get a drink and lunch, and let's head up to the library.
Yeah, I'll also just show Pinchy to where we're staying as well.
Okay.
As you show Pinchy up to your room, there is still a troop of the trimmed up lugs that are expecting you. Another guest of yours?
Yeah, he'll be hanging around for a bit.
They look down at Pinchy with what you can only assume is a look of recognition.
Don't worry, he's friendly.
No funny business this time. Just guess it pays to have some moral and good friends. He looks back at you, Andros. You sure?
Oh, the guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Then I won't question it. And he starts to look dead ahead at the hallway opposite him. Where the guard previously opened the door for you or when you were entering before, he does not open it for Pinchy. Pinchy
As
sort of
I-
like
as-
scratches the
as
back
I
of his
go
head
on.
and sort of like, well, I'll see you around.
Okay, then I head back down to everyone else.
Cool. Your armor could use a polish, by the way. Boom. And the door closes behind him.
Oh my god.
So, the Wayward Wanderers and some random
Next.
short little fucker in a cloak are having lunch together. You're seated in a section away from a lot of the rabble. I think this is probably as good a time as any to try and talk about kind of strategies you guys might want to think about for the fight.
Yeah, I believe we can talk that out when we are not in Discord with our opponent and stuff like that.
True.
Reminder that he's streaming this.
That being said, could you first of all give me like a breakdown of who they are? I'm assuming you guys have met them a couple times. I literally don't have any idea who we're fighting. Do you at least know like roughly what they're capable of?
Met a couple of times is a strong statement. So we know a bunch of. We've got a bunch of information. So the two friends we were with, the one you represent currently,
Sorcerer to Rogue, yeah, I clocked that pretty
Uh,
quick.
seems to be an arcane trickster sort of rogue. The other fella seems to be a wizard of some kind or a sorcerer.
He's a Storm Sorcerer. I clocked that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Age and RC, the whole sort of wind thing, it kind of like fit too easily.
Yeah, and he doesn't read books, so
Honestly,
that's kinda...
Honestly, big cliche if you ask me.
Oh,
But I mean, it's two things he was born with. It's not
Is
like
that
he
a
can
dig at
like help
Jay?
it.
yep.
Jay, don't
Yeah.
take that shit.
I also mentioned
It's fine, I
there's
get to
there's
electrocute him in the arena.
Nathaniel, who's a bard, and I'm already aware of his weakness when I slammed down the Horn of Santalam on the table.
Oh, I know one of
Doesn't
those.
like this.
Doesn't like it? What do you mean?
I kind of blew his eardrums out at one point of it.
I did the exact same thing once. Dude was fucking pissed at me. Nice one. So we've got a bard. Who else?
Apparently there was a fanboy of his with him, and they seem to be possibly a cleric. That's just a speculation. We haven't really met them.
they casted what was it, prestidigitation?
I'm not
Something
sure.
to clean clothes.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Could
something
be.
to pull the water out. Yeah.
But that can be anything really. I mean, that doesn't really prove much. It's just like a.
Okay.
And there's two more, which we haven't met, but we know one of them is sort of a fighter or a barbarian that's willing to uh, sort of fight or wrestle with our friend Cedric,
Oh, right. Okay.
and that's all we know really. Uh, I've kind of wanted to meet all of them to see what we're up against, but we've been busy.
So we've got 3 potential casters: a
Yeah.
rogue, a barbarian, and the 6th one's still unknown.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
The sixth one's still a what?
Unknown.
Unknown.
This is
Continue.
like all you've heard about the 6th one is just like notes on their character, essentially.
I thought I heard him say a gnome.
I
You
mean,
actually-
you'd maybe.
yeah, I don't think full comments have been said on people's races, right?
No.
Other than the ones they've met. Okay.
We just know their names, if it matters. So Senora is the one that's of a fighter type, and Vitra is the other one that we don't know anything about really, except for her basically balancing out everything in the group or something like that.
Right, gotcha. Well, needless to say, this would not even be a remotely close fight if I truly just tried to win. I just want to take the time to clearly say now, not that actually interested in fighting them. What I am going to do the entire time I'm going to be there is showboat. I'm basically going to be, and he tends to look at you, Anxie, the brightest burning star in the sky. Gives you a wink again.
Like, that's the point. Like, instead of just showing, you could
Arthur Dix is doing
literally
this.
make it a concert.
His concerts are rather dangerous, and someone gets taken in the end, so he potentially can kidnap one of them.
Continue retch at him doing that. Just audibly goes. "Bleh!"
I'm just thinking. Like,
He
all these
tries to
places
pay
have
you no
enemies.
mind, but you watch that he was a bit visibly disturbed by that.
I was thinking if he does like a concert thing, not only is that very distracting, but that's also probably going to really annoy Nathaniel.
This
It's gonna throw him off as well.
this bard that doesn't happen to be the silver dragon we met at the arena at the theater, is it?
It's exactly them.
Oh, that's the point as well. I used minor illusion to show him like images of everyone we've met so far.
Okay.
Make it easier.
Nathaniel, Twinkie fanboy, and you haven't met the other 2.
No.
Right.
We could potentially try and meet them.
Well, I think what I'm going to do here, because I can almost anticipate his moves, Nathaniel's, being the very, very obviously jealous bard he is, he's going to try and do everything he can to upstage me. And I'm just going to brush him away as if he was nothing. I'd be
I like that.
surprised if he did anything but hurl spells at me.
Can I hide behind you then? I'd rather not be in the way of
Out
any
of
spells.
interest, if you were wanting to like one up him like that, and he's like trying to get attention from the crowd, could you literally just make him invisible?
Make him invisible? I'm pretty sure that requires a willing creature.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
No self-respecting
Yeah.
bard is gonna not want to be seen. So I think that's unfortunately out of the question.
Me!
Yeah,
Why can't
that
anyone
was my
notice
fault exactly.
But he says as Carnellan flicks through his invisible spellbook, I don't have counterspell.
Oh, if anyone had it.
Thought I did, but I don't. It's been a while that I've been in the sort of combat business, but certainly have some spells that I could use. The big burst of light you saw at the end of the concert. Think that one might be off limits.
That's fair.
I stood in it because I could take it, but I might just kill someone, and I don't want to do that.
You see, as
Like-
long as you distract them, I can stop them from casting.
Oh, honey, I am the best distraction.
And then we're gonna do great.
So just a thought, just to try and open up options. for
And you
me.
walked out.
So
Mhm.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
So just a thought. So Carnellon had the Shambler thing during his concert. Would I be able to summon a Shambler and make it look like it's like one of his illusions? Like his
The way that the
Like-
Shambler showed up in Carnellon's concert was it was a major image spell that he had cast to look like himself that then transformed into him. It didn't lift itself from the ground and leave a visible mark in the ground as the Shamblers normally do.
Okay, never mind then.
I do have a couple of things that'll be really helpful for my well, I mean, I haven't used it in a very long time, but I am equipped with a good bit of healing magic. You know. Baylor, I think you can get this. Fire that cauterizes and burns and can heal.
Yeah, I know all about that.
I figured as much. I've got a pretty good grasp on what you guys are capable of.
You
And-
do.
Andros, you're a bit of a wild card, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of don't know what you've got up your sleeves. But I don't know if I like it. But I don't need to like it in order to work together with you.
Ross just opens his sleeve and a Shambler falls out.
I just note that I do have very long sleeves.
Uh, you know what would be kind of funny though? Do you think that this Nathaniel guy has a decent wisdom?
Could be, but I can make him fail if he saves.
Wouldn't it be like really funny if I polymorphed him?
Oh, that would be very funny.
I'm
What would
just
you
saying.
What would you polymorph him into?
Oh, I'll come up with something at the time that's all too
Alright.
appropriate.
Ratanio.
As the start to talk for strategies. Jesus Christ.
If you polymorph him into a rat, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna use my hat. My hat of vermin and summon a rat.
Oh my
The real
God.
arena fight. Cage match between two rats.
Oh my
Maybe that
God.
rat's horny that I summon, you don't know.
I
Jesus
can't.
Very
Christ.
different performance.
That's getting disturbing. I love it.
Okay.
Like, the last 5
We
minutes
don't
of
know what
command-
animals are gonna get up to, you know?
As you guys begin to talk strategy, you guys can do
Uh-huh.
this later on Discord when Jay's not around, if it would alleviate you somewhat. But we can sort of pan away from this and let time pass as the Wayward Wanderers and Carnellon have a nice lunch together.
Quick question before we do that: can we do a perception check to see if Nyx is hanging around anywhere?
Roll me a perception check.
You need to roll high.
Can I assist with that and also look around?
Jay, if Nyx is around, can you roll a stealth check and tell me in DMs, please?
Maybe I'll just roll it anyway.
Oh my god. Nice roll. By the way,
You
just
can
one
roll as
thing,
well,
guys.
Shift, sorry. Yeah.
Earlier we said that we're gonna get food and walk towards the Lord's place. But we ended up staying in the place and eating.
Oh, Baylor, did you use guidance on either of us?
Yes, I did.
Well, I'm convinced.
Okay, we'll make that a 27.
With a the 27 and a 23. Though you do notice several people eyeing you from across the bar, from across the way, none of them you recognize, but most of them seem to be somewhat fans gawking at you. Maybe some of them putting two together of who this random seventh person might be, or sixth person, sorry. But
Yeah,
none of
my
them
role
seem
is
to be
normally.
prying with an intent to survey.
Are we getting any angry looks? Or have people forgotten about the Earth Elemental?
Think whatever rumors might have started with that, I think ended pretty quickly. And you've certainly not heard anything back from it. Certain rolls I made you roll between sessions may have affected that. But with your lunch now enjoyed and consumed,
What's on the menu?
whatever you want, I'll tell this.
I need to know what I'm eating.
It is a pub dinner. You are served some sort of a meat steak with some vegetables that have half been fried and half been boiled.
It was a lunch.
Very big lunch.
Those of you that didn't want to eat all of it, Cedric ate the rest of it.
I
Yeah,
had
that's
a stew if there was any.
Sure, you had a stew. They have a pot of forever stew in the back.
Let's fucking go!
I gave a chunk of steak to Sizzle.
Sizzle, having not been too present recently, I think low-key Scup forgot about him, comes out of Cedric's armor and starts sort of like, not really dancing, but like making a big deal of himself in the middle of the table, lying down, expecting scritches on his tummy, being fed food, and just sort of like lying there and like enjoying being the center of attention.
Oh, you think we forgot our Sizzle? Well, that flicker. He's been waiting at the forest and we said we'd be back in like a day or two.
You did tell Flicker that. I believe this
To be
is
fair, Scup's not forgot about Sizzle, he's just forgot about the whole session at this point.
the.
Yeah.
So, with your food enjoyed and knowing that there is an entire potentially library of people awaiting you, library of information, sorry, what would you like to do?
As we said earlier, we would pick up food and go to the library. But since we ate in, we're gonna go to the library.
Okay, girl, chill.
I think the question is,
Jeez.
do we want to go the long way around or do we want to skip partially through the tunnels?
I'd say skip, maybe.
Okay, well, there's a tunnel that is fairly close to where we're heading.
Hmm.
Okay, well. Would you like to take the tunnel in?
Yeah, and we always go in sneakily so no one sees us.
Right, all
will
of
just
you.
mention-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I will just mention to everyone else that I found a room where it looked like somebody had been sleeping, so keep an eye out when going through the tunnels. Yeah, it's obviously somebody
Interesting.
else who knows about it.
Okay, you guys head into the densely populated area behind the ladies' garden, and you then begin to head through the tunnels entrance that is there and comes out here. Okay. One of you roll me a perception check for whoever's leading through the tunnel, just in case you can potentially see what's up ahead.
Someone with high perception, maybe Zinni, because she can also see in the dark.
Oh, Zinni also needs to roll her stealth check as well.
And
Wait,
so does Baylor.
Can
So
Zinni
I-
see in the dark?
Hmm?
Can Zinni see in the dark?
Yes, she
Oh,
can.
cool. Never mind.
Yeah, Baylor and I can ult, that's why I think she's the best
With
one.
a 24 perception check, Zinni leads the way as you walk through these tunnels, and you see absolutely nothing ahead of you. It is just a dank, dark tunnel, just very muddy and very awful vibes, and you're just sort of like single file walking through until at one point, Anxie, you feel like your arm impacted something.
Icky. Can I get some
Something-
light?
Something invisible. You were just walking through the tunnel, your arm bumped something, you turned around, there was nothing there.
But my arm still feels the invisible part. Can I like try
You
and
you
catch
sort
it?
of like walked past it. You can try and reflexively
Yeah,
grab
yeah, I'd
towards
like
it if
to
you
do that.
want. Okay.
I'd very much like to do that. And I'm
Uh,
asking for light immediately while doing so.
I assume there's already light going.
Okay.
Roll me an athletics check.
I'm so good at this.
How long has it been since the person went past Anxie?
Ooh.
It's all within one round still right now.
Okay, I could. So speaking of character, I can cast Hunger of Hadar. Try and stop them. It makes it difficult terrain.
If I don't catch them, you can after, but I believe I should. I
It was
might.
100.
You are in single file line, and there is still Cedric behind her. So it was.
Also, Cedric will stop him. Them.
They are
Just
still in the
tell
way.
Cedric to stop.
You reach out and you try to grab what was there, and you feel nothing. And you hear something slipping away. Sid, in the moment, panicked, sort of just tries to like big armed grab, and rolls an athletic as well.
Baylor, can you throw fairy fire there?
I don't have Fairy prepared.
Oh no!
Okay.
I will go in Scott's character sheet.
What can I do?
So Hunger of Hadar will
Athletics.
pretty much guarantee.
Send it if he doesn't do anything. Like just send it.
Just because if he gets past up or not.
Yeah. Does it get past?
You hear a slight scuffle. You don't see anything, but eventually, with Scott just being too big and blocking the way, he eventually just big arm just sweeps, and you see that he's physically grabbed something and is holding it tense within his arms.
Okay, buddy. Now it's time you show your face.
It seems to be wriggling and moving.
And
I
once
cast-
you do so,
Wait, can I cast Hold Person on something invisible?
no,
We don't know where exactly where it is.
you have to see them. I
It
think.
says person you can see in the description.
Quick on the draw, Zinni, with this spell description. Okay.
I was just looking at it, so
Yeah, that's the problem. We can't cast anything on them.
Well, with you saying this to whoever this is, Jay, what's your response?
Okay, Nix.
What indeed?
Is Cornelian still with us?
He is, but he was ahead of you.
I think for the purposes of dropping an invisibility, Nixie's just gonna like sort of poke like Sid reasonably hard just so the spell drops, and then just sort of like they're quite a lot smaller than Sid, so just like hang limply with a sheet of paper in their hand, just like
Help.
kind of, yes.
What do I see basically? I see a sheet of paper and I see Nyx.
What the hell
And
are you doing here?
Oh god.
they hold up the paper and turn it to see, and it's a sequence of lines that probably look reasonably familiar, like they were mapping the tunnels.
Ah,
You better stop talking or I'm gonna start squeezing.
Cedric, let them go. Cedric,
No,
Please let me go.
not. Come on, you just get in the tunnel, just sneaking round. This is our tunnel.
it's a friend, Cedric. Let them go.
Oh.
We use our words, not our fists.
Unfortunately,
You said
Nixie's someone who can't use their
Unfortunately.
words, though.
Oh, he can though. They can. Telepathic speech on Nyx. Hello.
Do you leave with them? No.
Well, I
This
don't want
is
to let go
awkward.
yet.
So you're mapping out the tunnels.
Yeah, I was interested.
That's fair. We did show you the tunnels, might as well, explore them. Please don't tell people about them. We are using them for transportation currently, and I'd assume you'd be doing the same once you map them out.
Why are you just staring at him?
It's alright, Cedric. I'm speaking to them.
No, you're not.
Telepathic speech on Cedric immediately. Am I not?
Well, I
Over.
didn't hear nothing.
Okay, back to Nyx.
These
Actually,
seem far too useful to advertise.
yeah, fair. Guys, Nyx here is mapping out the tunnels. We don't really have an issue with that, do we?
I don't see any issue as long as we're not going to go telling people about it.
No, they said that they see no reason to advertise something so useful.
I mean, to get some goodwill, we could just show them the map we have of all the map
Yeah.
tunnels as well.
May we?
What you saw was mostly finished. They've been here a while.
It's all right. We're just gonna finish it for them.
Fair.
Guess we're gonna have to let
You'd
go
also
then.
hear, how's Gwen?
She's in the hospital currently. We hope she does better, but
I'm bored, I'll let it go now. I don't care what happens.
Nyx falls probably at least a foot to the floor.
I help them get up. I feel bad.
Because this was literally I told Dax that they were in the tunnels because they were interested. It's completely unrelated.
So we've given them the map so they can relay it, and I just told them about Gwenny. What else?
Is that where you were going before?
Yeah. We made sure that someone's taking care of her, because we couldn't do anything.
And what about the drow?
We found out that fear is a great weapon, and they will not be an issue anymore.
Okay, the only thing, so speaking out of character, the only thing I'm concerned about is his character going to try and kill him?
I don't think so.
I guess that's an insight check for people who.
Yeah, those who are curious, roll an insight check to see if you can deduce whether Nyx wants to just kill Dran.
Well,
I mean, we probably can't because we don't know what they're saying.
Technically,
That's-
it's been longer than 2 hours. Like, Dran's probably starting to leave.
Well, no, I know he hasn't because the alarm hasn't gone off yet.
Or Jax
well, that
haven't said
begs the
anything.
question, has the alarm gone off? Okay.
It has not gone off yet.
I mean, unless he went through the window or something, but they're bolted up, so I don't see why he wouldn't just leave by the door.
Okay, let's say we've taken care of them. You wouldn't dare to do anything further, would you?
It's to Nix. I'm done with them.
Yeah, so am I. Do I trust them?
There's the insight check.
Roll insight. Jay, roll persuasion or deception, depending on if you're lying or not, and tell me what the roll was.
I don't know why I'm going at my way to screenshot everything rather than just.
You don't have to screenshot. You can just type it, bro. I trust you.
You trust me, and you're like, was there a bit of dice fudging last session?
I had to ask as a fellow DM. I figured you. There wasn't, by the way. But anyways, Anxie, as you hear this from Nyx, you get the feeling that there's definitely a lot of complicated feelings behind whatever the issue was with Dranth, but you get the feeling that it wasn't personal enough with Dranth that they would seek out extra measures.
To follow up on that, like the vibe from this interaction and the question was now more along the lines of distaste than sort of seething.
Yeah.
I'm going to come after you hatred.
Well, I hope one day you tell me more about your convictions and why this affected you in such manner.
I wouldn't mind that.
Lovely. Well, I believe you'd probably like to get back to whatever you were doing or your day. I don't know. Hopefully
You
we
finished it now, thanks to you.
yeah, happy to help, I suppose. You've been a great help, and I'm just happy to return the favor to at least such extent. Would you mind asking the rest of your team whether they'd be interested in, I don't know, dinner or a meeting? If not, I'm gonna send a message probably towards Nathaniel, but that would sweeten the blow, I suppose.
Didn't you ask Levant this?
Yeah, but I don't know how much we spoke about it afterwards. It's been a lot lately. I can actually check with them.
Be a little careful when you catch him. He's losing the gig. He didn't take it well.
Oh, you mean Nathaniel? Oh, yeah. I bet.
If you meant like contacting Levant again. Because
Yeah.
like you when you spoke to Levant about this, like Levant didn't seem to think the idea was very plausible.
No, I don't think so either. Anyway, we might just show up uninvited then. Maybe it's better than trying to speak beforehand. I don't know. Well, anyway, thank you.
Thank you. And for what it's worth, I'm still sorry I lost my temper at that moment.
It's all right. What you did was rather sweet.
There's a sort of a shrug.
Yeah, that's fair.
In communication, but you see a shrug.
Well, Anxie says her goodbyes and moves on.
Okay.
If no one else does anything, then Nyx will very quickly blend straight back into the shadows and continue past you like they so nearly managed to. They were rolling so well. It was so sad.
Oh, and since I haven't severed my telepathic speech, I say just once I start moving. Next time you see us, you might as well show your face. Like, I don't like bumping into invisible stuff. That's all you hear.
It's so hard to Go invisible again once you've stopped, though.
I can help.
And I think at that point they've left the range.
So, continuing on. Making your way through the muddy tunnels. Coming past the white stone wall underground. Pondering it as you walk by.
Shall we stop at it, guys? Team?
Are we?
Uh,
Stop.
Has anything changed at all?
We have someone that might be able to cast Dimension Door, and we know that they can.
That's a good point. Like that was the plan. That started off this whole Dran thing.
Yeah. Silly enough.
Like we could ask him to try it and like poke his head in and see if it worked.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea.
I mean, I'm not opposed to trying, for sure.
Shall we then?
So, you just want me to just go past the wall?
Yeah, we want to see if we can see what's on the other side of the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Haven't got too many how I was supposed to look, but let's okay. And you watch as kind of just like looks at the wall, quickly mutters a few words under his breath, and you watch as his form starts to disapparate and split apart. It quickly apparates back together, and Carnellin
Oh.
takes 8 points of force damage.
It was a bad idea.
Yep. That hurt my brain. Oh.
So when I thought maybe I should come with you would have been a bad idea either as well. Oh, good to know.
Was
Probably
it a
would have been
case
it
of the
too.
wall was too thick, or is it a case of like there's magic on the wall stopping it?
Well, I mean, spell's got a range of 500 feet. The wall definitely can't be that thick, but I try to go like 40 feet in and nothing.
And Andres, you're pretty knowledgeable. What do you reckon about the wall, like magic-wise? We know it's enchanted or something.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was never the one to deal with this sort of stuff. Freaky for sure. What's that mark on it? He gestures up towards the little mark of the 5 lines on top of the area of the wall that you
no
can see.
idea, but it is repeated further down.
Oh
Huh.
yeah. We dug deeper and it was the same.
That's weird. Guessing you can't break it down then?
No.
Huh. Well, it's enchanted for sure. I do not know what it is. Sorry, I'm not actually like the bookwormy type. Like, I know a good amount. I don't learn
That's
about
fair.
this kind of stuff.
You did way more than we could by trying to get through it, so
And it hurt.
Yeah, we're able to heal him up.
It's only 8 points. It's chill, don't worry. Oh, I should mark them off on his sheet.
yeah, we're gonna fight with books later on and it's gonna be quite dangerous.
I guess when we go to the library, we'll see if we can find anything out about this.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Okay, so we just go towards it.
Wait, where are we going again?
Oh, you're not gonna like that second part of it. So, we are going to a library.
Right. Why?
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, I am one of these bookwormy type people, and I'd like to read what's in there.
He roll a perception check.
Oh, God. I'm gonna use lucky point. Oh, that's sure.
You watch as he, not really trying to hide it, rolls his eyes slightly and said under his breath, "Of course you are."
That's kind of demeaning.
I mean, it should be interesting. Yeah, kind of wondering why there's a magical wall like underneath it. Yeah, but yeah, big.
Yeah,
mountain,
no,
so,
I mean, it's all really interesting. I just never filled this role before. I was always around people that really dug this stuff, but it was never my jam, you know. But I'm happy to go alongside you.
I'm sure the Lord will have some entertainment for anyone who doesn't want to go to the library.
Yeah, last time we watched pig dancing.
Oh, schmoozing up the Lord. You wait, you
Yeah.
didn't tell me this was the Lord's library.
Oh yeah. It is the Lord's library.
Oh, screw books, and I'm gonna go talk to that dude. I love him.
Okay.
All right, cool. Well, let's get going.
Anx is extremely embarrassed after being after him rolling his eyes at her. She feels very judged. And moves on.
Roll an insight check.
Okay.
I say with a 20, you definitely can't discern exactly what he meant by it, but you can definitely feel like it wasn't an eye roll of derision. Maybe something more in the lines of a weird sort of sadistic catharsis.
The fuck.
And that's all I'll say. Traveling on, you guys make your way out of the tunnel, and you're able to start heading up the big grand staircase.
Oh no.
Achilles heel.
Do we need to roll?
I cast levitating myself.
What did I make you roll before? Was it athletics?
I'm
Athletics,
not
I think.
sure. Athletics or acrobatics. No, athletics for
It
sure.
was strength based. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it was strength based because acrobatics is 0 for me and athletics
Each
is
of
minus
you
1.
roll me an athletics check, please.
But it may have even been a strength save.
Oh, I'm so good.
Baylor, let's go.
I'm making it up the stairs today.
We are running.
Zinni, can I get your athletics check, please? And I'll do one for Carnellon.
And Cedric.
Well, oh yeah,
We
and
just assume Cedric passes.
Yeah, Cedric gets like 22. Oh,
Oh,
double
I'll take
net 20. You watch as Carnellon in Nyx's form has a bit of difficulty getting up these stairs, and he's having to bring his feet up a lot more than he's used to.
Walk
But-
a mile in those shoes, why don't you?
Eventually,
I'm sprinting up the stairs.
Yeah.
go for it, love. Eventually, you do all make it up to the top of the stairs. And here now, atop the plateau, looking at this absolutely immaculate upper echelon of society. With completely gorgeous houses, a giant garden completely surrounding the entire area, and a fortified mansion in the middle. I think now is a good time to bring the session to a close, and we will pick up there next time.
Oh, that was a fun one for me. I had said before the session, just like, so by the way, Nix is just going to be in the tunnels mapping it out. It probably won't come up. And you just use them constantly.
Every time you went in the tunnels, I just typed to Jay,
Stealth
and deck save.
Wait,
Oh,
how
did
did
you roll-
do I now have Nix's backpack? Or was that somebody else's?
No, it's probably somebody else.
You did find a copper coin in there, though. Good job, buddy.
I mean, I needed somebody
Nix's
else to check
pension.
in case they do a better roll.
It's a bag. Like, once you've picked it up and sort of take it with you, you could discern there's definitely nothing else in it.
I mean,
It's-
fair, it's
It's not a mimic?
It's useful having a backpack. You know?
you're carrying just a bunch of mildewed leather.